Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Ninja Pools. How we doing? How are we doing? Haha. Welcome back. Hope you had a good couple of days. Sorry I wasn't around yesterday. Let's not even go there. But we're here now. We are back. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Lily Dryad, how's it going? Likes to play catch? Morning. Johnny. Hello, hello. Hope you're well. Nice watch streak there, Lily. Dig it. And Luzotron. Hello, good people. How's everyone doing? Yeah, I hope you guys are well. Nick Malfoy on YouTube. Hello, how you doing? Happy Friday. Moose, the snacks. Hey, guys. Erin, hello. And Kiddings, hello also. Welcome on in, everybody. This is Khan back again. Sorry I missed you yesterday. That was a completely unplanned cancellation. Irritating and very, very stressful IRL stuff popping off. But hey, it is done. We are back. Morning, morning, morning. Ted Meister, how's it going? So I have not had the chance to do basically any of the work I needed to do, and it is piling up all around me. So today it's going to be a short 4-hour stream. We're going to have to cap it at 3 on the dot. I am, just between the two of us, I'm going to keep it positive today. Between the two of us. Between the 70 of us. I am a little bit terrified. I've got things that are like big deadlines. Quite apart from all of my prog groups, which I have to run all of them because all of our raid leads suddenly became unavailable at the same time. So I'm running everything at the moment and I just don't have time. And on top of all of those, I have hard deadlines coming up on various things. Most of them really cool. Some of them are sponsorship opportunities, cool things for you guys, but I just don't have time. So I am looking at... I'm feeling a little bit like a student who realizes their coursework is due and they have 60 pages to write in like 3 days. I'm just... I'll figure it out somehow. Zdenya, hey man, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Genius. So kind. Thanks for the emotes there, guys. I love it. Hello, hello, hello. Belora, 15 stream streak. Hell yeah, high five. The grind's going well. Only 2 CP left. When you are nearly there, if you're online at the same time as me, might have to just hop on over and see it happen. That could be fun. It's not every day you get to see someone turn 3600. But yeah, the plan with these streams... Hey! Spawniac, what a great name. Thank you, welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. The plan with this channel was for me to, you know, go to 11 till 3, 11 till 4 as a default, but most days, try and go a little bit later. Go to 7, go to 9 PM, do whatever, you know, like big, long streams. And lately, I can't remember the last time we did one of those. I mean, it's only a couple of weeks ago, but I just haven't had time. I've been freaking buried. This is crazy. Is it ever going to stop? Anyway, we are here now. Let's get on with it. I thought we'd do the usual warm-up with writs and dailies and stuff like that. And I was inspired by the horror dungeons we did the other day. You know, we went to Imperial City Prison and Shipwright's Regret. And they're only on normal. And it was just me by myself, so no one had to wait around for me. But, you know, just digging into the story and the setting a little bit more. I really enjoyed that, and you guys seem to like it as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please do. If anyone's like, no, don't do that again, that sucked. But yeah, I thought we'd do some more of that later in the time that we've got. Greykirk, hello, hello. Lord, I missed you last night, but we got to Ansul. Yeah, I saw. I was messaging Jester throughout the day saying, look, I want to be there. I should be able to make it, but... No, I had to be on call to pick up from the hospital. So in the end I said, hey, why don't you just replace me? But yeah, we were trying out a new tank who seemed like a really nice person, but had so little, like, concrete experience that it was a really tough call as to how capable they would be. So Maya just basically said, "Oh, you seem cool. Why don't we just take your word for it and bring you in?" I don't think they'd ever tanked these hard modes before, so the only way to find out is to give them a shot, you know? So it sounded like it went pretty well based on that, but I did feel bad because I promised Jess that I would be there for that. That was kind of the whole point. Sporniac, hey all. Welcome on in. Isn't the Insanity Raid spooky? A little bit in places. There's some... I mean, it's a nightmare. You're literally inside a man's nightmare. A nightmare that is being evoked by a Daedra. So yeah. There's some horror elements to it. Anoxero, hello, hello, how you doing? Laura also cooked up some things with Virtual afterwards, a few tweaks. Just had to leave, so she'll tell him what we cooked up. Right? I mean, leave me out of all of that. Seriously, as much as I love a comp chat, like I said, I have more than I can handle right now. My heart and my brain cannot deal with all this stuff. Hope you and Maya are all good. I'm not gonna lie, Anox, we are not. Not at all. But we're not here to talk about that. But thank you for asking. Thank you very much. Today, this week, or at least the last few days from Tuesday, have been pretty terrible. I had a lot of fun with you guys, obviously. Always do. But I think this is the worst week I've had. Not ever, but in a long, long time. But yeah, it happens. You know, it never rains, but it pours. Everything goes wrong at the same time. And we're through it now. It is Friday. The weekend is coming. We're not going to dwell on that. But hey, I should say, sending you lots of love, Arnox. Oh, thank you. Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate it. And that brings me to what I was just about to say. Thank you for all your messages of support. It absolutely does help. So thank you for thinking of us. Thank you for being here today. And for being there for me and Maya last couple of days. And know that we will do whatever little we can to be of help and support should you ever need it. I mean, I can't guarantee I can do that much with a silly video game channel where we come to nerd out, laugh and tell each other a bunch of dick jokes, but hey, sometimes a nice hang is all that's required. Sometimes that's just what we need. So speaking of which, let's crack on. Let's get on with that. But thanks, man. Thanks, Anox. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, those are always stressful. Even the expected ones are stressful. It was... Yeah, I'm not even going to go there, but yeah. It wasn't welcome, let's put it that way. I mean, when would they be? Right. At least I'll have double routes to do today. Awesome. I was really worried yesterday. No needs to worry. It's all in hand. But thank you. Thank you, guys. And Luzortron, thank you for that as well. Awesome. I see a combat Q&A today. Yeah, I've started putting that in when there isn't a definitive structure for the day. So I'm always taking questions, really. But some days I want to encourage it. Let's go, let's go. You know, if anyone's got anything like, hey, I wanted to get into tanking, or I haven't really done enough trials, I'm a little bit nervous, my DPS seems a little bit low, I want to try PvP. I mean, I'm not the expert for PvP, but I will do what I can to help. And depending on your level, if you're a total PvP novice, there's probably quite a lot I can do to help, in fact. But obviously there are other streamers and other sources and resources that could do a little bit more in that regard. But I will, yeah, I'm here. Use and abuse. Let's go. Likes to play catch. Bless you guys. We're all sending our love and support with huge hugs from the zoo too. Thanks. Thank you. Right back at you. But yeah. I'm sitting here bopping in my chair, nodding my head. I'm ready to get back and do some stuff. Honestly, I was thinking of, I know I shouldn't do this, like when you make the decision to call off sick from work, or to not go to a hang with your friends or family, or whatever it is, if you've made the decision to cancel a commitment, you just stick with it, you know, you stand by it, and you make your choice, you get on with it. But I was constantly thinking and feeling a little bit guilty about not streaming yesterday. Also, there's another element to it, which is, some of you guys will be familiar with this, I'm sure, if you go to the gym regularly, and then you take a break from it. I've particularly had this with when I was in a choir, and I've been in a lot of choirs over the years. Some of them very, very, like, very high-end, quite ambitious. There is something about pumping a lot of blood through exercise, or just, like, performing your guts out in rehearsing music, whether that's in an orchestra, or a band, or a choir. I've done all three many times throughout my life. And then if you stop doing it, if you have a week off, even if it's just 1 week, 1 day, whatever, you miss a session. You guys had this? You really feel it. You feel a little bit pent up. I've never been in one of those relationships where there's like a particular like a sex schedule. I don't know that that's a real thing, but it's in a lot of movies and TV. You know, that couples have quickie time and stuff like that. I imagine it's like missing one of those. Damn it! I'm really pent up now. But I've definitely had that from like skipping an appointment to the gym or skipping choir. I used to really feel it, man, when I do that. And skipping out on stream yesterday, I don't know, I feel like there's an element of that there as well. It's an outlet which you've become used to. And when it's not there, you definitely miss it. Yeah, Alex, there are no guilt. The health of both are important. Of course, of course. Thank you. I know this. It's just there. I wouldn't know anything about gym. My fat ass is allergic to them. To be honest, I prefer sports to gym. I will run around with my dog, or with a ball, or with a tennis racket in my hand. I could do that for hours. But ask me to go for a jog, and I get bored after 5 minutes. And boredom, I mean, you're not doing it for entertainment. You're doing it for fitness, and you know, to toughen up and keep everything working and limber. But yeah, there are certain type of repetitive exercise that I get bored of very, very quickly. I don't know if that's universal, I just need to get over it, or if I'm particularly susceptible to that, because I love sport. And I don't do as much organized sport as I should. But I used to swim, I used to play rugby, I used to play tennis, like all the time. I guess swimming is the only one I miss specifically. Yeah, you guys have that, like, at university and when you're a little bit younger, but then when you move house, or whatever, you stop doing a specific thing, and you wish you could find your way back to it. I should open all these now, I don't need them anymore. I've been hanging on to these because of the crow quests for the feathers, but that finished a couple of days ago, so let's go. Did I just get a candlefly gathering? That's pretty cool. These are lovely. But Lord, I played 2 different types of flute, and yes, you can get a little rusty after missing it. Yeah, 2 types of flute. So, are we talking piccolo, or like standard flute, and then I don't even know what. Bass flute? I should know this. I was in an orchestra, but I was viola. Violin and viola and piano. That was my bag. Definitely time for some clearer now. That event is finally over. I love the Halloween event. It's great. I love that they have it, but come on, man. It is genuinely a hassle. I know people who literally don't. They avoid doing anything because they can't be bothered with all the inventory management that it puts you through. Especially the Jubilee, I think, might be the worst. Yeah, lose or try an exercise triggers the release of multiple brain chemicals, enhance mood, cognition, stress resilience. That's what I'm saying. It's not just exercise. You're absolutely right. But even other activities that you become accustomed to that are an outlet, whether physical or creative or something, and then you skip one, you can go, huh, that has more meaning and impact for me than perhaps I appreciate. Do sports in video games count? Yeah, I'm sure they do. Probably any activity could be, could eventually fall under the umbrella of what I'm talking about here. Yeah. I had Ninja stream, perfect timing. Hello, all you lovely people. Hey, Aheld, how you doing? I hope you've had a good one. Nothing sus about it. I'm not American, no American pie. But did she play the flute? This one time at band camp? I think the most suggestive instrument is the oboe. Or at least that's the joke we used to make. Maybe that's because one of my mates, two of my mates, played the oboe in the orchestra I used to be in. And yeah, lots of jokes about the pink oboe being played. Erin, I will get underwater earphones when I rejoin the swimming club. Hell yeah, I've never had those. Never had anything quite like that. But yeah, that's a great shout, actually. They are building another gym quite near where I live. It's like just around the corner. There's an old shop that closed down a while ago and it's just been sitting there. They obviously can't find any actual retailers to sort of rent it out, so I guess they're rebuilding it as a gym, which will probably take 2 fucking years, so I shouldn't get too excited, but it'd be nice to have a brand new facility right on my doorstep. That'd be amazing. I will definitely do a lot more swimming if that happens. Piccolo and standard flute. Yes, I called it. Hell yeah. Good lord, that's a blast from the past. Pun intended? What was the line? Suck me, beautiful. What? I was thinking of American Pie just the other day. I needed to relax in the evening. It was like 11 p.m. and we were having a little glass of wine. Literally just half a glass before bed. And I put on an episode of Frasier. You guys remember that? The Frasier show? Probably the best sitcom I've ever seen. And there's an episode with, Erin, what the fuck? There's another one like that, which is the Jurassic Park soundtrack. Do. That one. But yeah, we were watching Frasier and Jennifer Coolidge shows up as like this German fitness instructor. And, you know, she's super tall and has got those giant knockers, you know, jutting out ahead of her. And, oh, she's just a delight. If anyone doesn't know, Stifler's mum is played by Jennifer Coolidge. Same actor. Same actress. So that was a real delight. I smiled immediately on seeing her walk through the door. Stifler's mom? Everyone who never saw American Pie is just like, what the hell is he talking about? Schnacks, technically I can show up at work almost whenever I want. Pretty nice. As long as I miss no meetings and do my hours, but I force myself to stick to a time because I know it would escalate if I started going later. Yes, I know what you mean. My sister used to do this. I guess these are all part of the same series, right? And Paradigm Media, I'm thinking of starting a Dragonite character. Wondering if Magicka or Stamina is better for solo play. You could do whatever you want. I would lean towards Stamina, but oh, Dragonite especially, it kind of swings both ways very, very easily. It depends, right? If it's for solo play and you're not talking about PvP, yeah, I would say you've got a few advantages if you go for Stamina. But you'll need a lot of Magicka recovery and Stamina recovery, whatever you do. Just remember to use both resources as much as possible, so it balances out. But yeah, Paradigm Media, good luck with it. If you want any specific tips, go ahead and ask. And for solo play, don't forget about Major Resolve. Provided, you know, if you're talking just overworld content, you don't need it. But I did a video on this just recently. It wasn't about solo necessarily, but I guess it kind of was, actually. It was kind of about solo. So if you look at the YouTube channel, the latest video on there that isn't, you know, a VOD will be that one. Tired of being squishy? Tips for survivability and stuff. Don't forget about Major Resolve. You could get that very easily from, not from there, from Stormcalling, the Sorcerer skill line, which is also very good for a couple of other reasons. But yeah, it's just fantastic for solo stuff. But yeah, Schnacks, I know what you mean. My sister used to do exactly the same thing. She worked for the UK government. She now works for the German government. Upgrade? Probably. And yeah, they had a very cool flexi time system. So she could just kill herself on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and work like 18-hour days and then have the rest of the week off. But obviously, that didn't work. Like, it became inconvenient for people who would try to reach you or wanted to have a meeting with you or whatever. So very few people actually did that. But in theory, it was possible. And likes to play catch. I can't even go for a walk nowadays because my legs just give way. Yeah, that's rough. I used to love playing football for a local team every weekend and miss it at times. Well, I'm sorry to bring up something potentially painful. Yeah, that sucks. Because at least what the version I'm talking about is if I find that I'm craving something, I should go and get back on it. But yeah, after we can lose the ability to restart those things, I'm pretty fluent at playing the pink oboe. Well, hang on. We talking hand or mouth action here? Hang on. Hang on. That's a personal question. Don't even answer that. But Lord, I was even able to play the Radetzky March on Piccolo. I can't picture that in my mind's ear. Lose or Tron, anticipating and engaging in something you love, like streaming, grinding your soul sparks dopamine, the motivation molecule, fuels excitement and satisfaction. I am not going to get technical with you guys, but I did watch an extended talk by... It was actually related to video games. It was a psychologist working in video game design as a sort of a consultant. He'd worked for some very big studios. And yeah, I love guys like this. I love listening to them talk about how the science of how video games work. Actually, and I'm sorry it sounds like I'm pouncing on you, Lose or Tron, but a huge part of his presentation, like the first 10 minutes, were basically spent explaining why dopamine is not the right word. It's not dopamine. Stop saying it. But I don't know if that directly contradicts what you're saying, but as a shorthand, we all know what you mean by that. Absolutely. But I thought that was really interesting. He had a real bee in his bonnet about the fact that the word gets misused because it does have a strict technical meaning, but that, yeah, we tend to use it in violation of what it actually means. But yeah, like I said, I'm certainly not an expert. I'm just repeating something that I heard. But yeah, anticipating and engaging in something you love fuels excitement and satisfaction. Absolutely. Like to play Catch American Pie, and The Wedding is my favorite. I've always felt like the original was the best, but I'm no expert. Alatara just enters with, what the fuck? I don't know where it came from, but there's this whole series of samples of someone playing a really bad recorder rendition of movie soundtracks. I think there was a podcast I used to listen to where they would occasionally feature the Jurassic Park one. I think that's where that came from. Lily Dryad, DK swing both ways, so people who play DK are bi. If you're talking about resources, yeah? Yeah, I chose my words carefully, Lily. You're not gonna catch me out. But Lord, you got an antique flute, a 60-year-old flute. The one my father learned to play on. I inherited it as a kid. It now reminds me of him. Aw, that's cool. I just found out that my mum sold my handmade viola that I played from, I don't know, 16 to 22 or something like that. I played the viola a lot. I was lead viola in the county orchestra. Hell yeah. But that's mainly because nobody played it. You know? A little bit like I used to play volleyball for England South under 21s. But not because I was some amazing athletic specimen. It's because nobody fucking plays volleyball. So it's easy to be a big fish in a small pond. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool heirloom, though. Mine wasn't a family heirloom, at least. It was handmade for my viola teacher. And, yeah, she really wanted to sell it to me because it was a little bit too big. Because she's quite a small lady. And I'm quite a big guy. So she said, this would be perfect. I know it's really expensive, but is there any way I could interest you guys? And it was a really, really gorgeous instrument. Yeah, I miss it sometimes, but I don't even know what I would do to join an orchestra around here. I think classical orchestra stuff, that's the kind of thing you either go quite serious with it, or you just drop it completely. Still, it was fun to learn when I was a kid, and as a teenager, got to do some really cool stuff. Got to play some very cool venues around Europe. A lot of fun. Erin, once DKs have enough stacks, they can swing the other way one time. I like it. Bellotto was part of a marching band. We had many performances. Oh, I never did anything like that. That's cool. Big fun. That's got to be a whole separate talent. Especially with a breath-based instrument. You know, to be able to march and bust out the music perfectly at the same time. Bonafide B, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Like some like actually, I do have 8 kids. Yeah. Bonafide B, thanks for your message. I was saying before you joined, thank you to everyone who's sent little messages here and there over the last couple of days. They really, really do help. They absolutely do. They don't go unnoticed or unchecked. But yeah, sad to miss the stream yesterday. But we are back. And we did a few dungeons last week. We did a couple of dungeons post-Halloween. I guess it was... Was it actually on Tuesday? No, it was Saturday, wasn't it? Saturday. So almost a week ago. We did some dungeons solo just to like look into the story. And people seem to really dig it. So I think we'll be doing a little bit of that later. Also combat Q&A like it says in the description there. If anyone's got any questions at all for me, that's Khan from Ninja Pulls. Fire away. I will endeavor. I'll do my best to sort you out and point you in the right direction. Like Sublicat, just the whole Stifler performance for me that he just stole the show for most of it. He was brilliant. I'm kind of with you. What's his name?
I have a strange...
No, it's gone. He's one of those actors that he's actually pretty damn good. Is it Sean William Scott? I'm gonna get it wrong, but I've seen him in a couple of other things. He was in Evolution, wasn't he? And a movie called Goon, which has taken on like a whole new meaning with with recent neologisms. But I love to play volleyball, as I was always the smallest. I also played badminton, but I was always the smallest. Yeah, height helps in volleyball, doesn't it? I have a question. Can we do a dungeon now? Yeah, I mean, I'm doing my writs. I'm going to do my dailies. But after that, I guess why not? And likes to play catch, especially the whole dance-off in the gay bar. And if I was gay, you'd totally want to fuck me. Everyone's a piece of the Stiffmeister. I'd forgotten that bit. When it comes to memorable movie scenes in gay bars, I tend to think of Police Academy. That whole thing. I still can't work out if the Police Academy movies are good or terrible. It's like nothing in between, you know? Some of them are obviously bad. I think there are a couple which are definitely just shit. But, yeah, they put a smile on my face. Bonafide B, of course. I'm sure everyone's just glad everything is alright. But yeah, glad you guys are back. Thank you. Glad to be back. It is just me today. Maya is recuperating. So she's not going to be around, but she will be Well, she was going to be with me yesterday, actually, but yeah, we had to spend the day on other things, sadly. But yeah, she sends all the love as well, guys. Much, much, much appreciated. Sable6, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. And that one dude on YouTube, hey, Kant, random question. What do you think the Dragon Knight Ultimate Sustain passive that was nerfed into the ground should be changed into, since it's now a dead passive? So you are talking about, I've got an unsubclassed character. That's my Sork tank. I just haven't used him at all since subclassing. He must be the last one. I think all of my other characters have been subclassed at this point. You know, I'll leave it. I'll leave him, because I don't need him for anything. And I can go and actually listen to Batra at Hunding, rather than just skipping through. I'm not sure they'll change that. I just think they'll tweak it. They are in my... I hope / expect Zos to do a broader overhaul of the class system. I mean, they've kind of said that that's what they're doing, but they have only hinted at it. And the fact that they didn't do anything in Update 48 to address, filling the holes in subclassing, tweaking things, nerfing things, buffing things that were dead or underrepresented or locked inside a dead skill line, that kind of stuff. The fact that they didn't do those things, they sort of said, yeah, we're aware, we know that's disappointing, but we're cooking some larger scale stuff. So, in answer to your question, you're talking about the... This is an Earthenheart thing, right? Battle Roar. When you cast Ultimate. I think they'll keep that in some form. It just, I don't know, it seems... Firstly, to me, it seems quite an interesting feature of the Dragon Knight class. One of the things about class identity, it's not just strengths, it's also weaknesses that define a class. So that weird sustain, which has made Dragon Knight overpowered, underpowered, or just interesting in the middle over the years. I don't know, and also what I know about the devs, and I should say what I think I know about the devs and their attitude towards the DK, I suspect they would want to keep it. So, yeah, if it continues to be just underused or underrepresented, I would expect them to tweak it, buff it, rather than change it completely. It is Battle Roar you're talking about, right? The ultimate sustain passive? That's got to be it, right? Battle Roar? Yeah, the Blue Oyster is Police Academy, yeah. Sean William Scott, yes, I got it. Thank you, Lex, to play catch.
Convince me of your intent.
And Luz or Troy, I mostly play ESO for the PvE and story. Are there any DLCs you'd recommend? Oh, man. It's easy to say which ones I don't recommend. So when you say DLCs, I'm guessing you're talking about dungeons? Or are you talking about chapters and stuff like that? But, man, dungeon DLCs. Yeah, that one dude. Yes, that was it. Cool. Murkmire. Yeah, a lot of people would say that. I've never played it, so I don't know. First Police Academy movie was great. It goes downhill except for a few exceptions. And Shnax. So we give that character a subclassing setup and test it in dungeons later. Can do. Probably no testing needed. I've got like 6 other tanks that have already done it. But DLCs that I particularly recommend. Well, my personal favorite, I think, for storytelling and world building at the same time, is Hrothgar. I have been over this many times. I'm not going to bore you guys again, but I think there are things about it which are really, really strong and unique. It kind of stands out for me. But I don't know that there are any that are particularly disappointing. A lot of people don't love High Isle, but that's because of 2 things that it was sort of pitched as, oh, it's got this big mystery, and it's got lots of court intrigue, a la, early Game of Thrones, before it just descended into tits and dragons. you know, that palace intrigue type stuff, and there wasn't really enough of either. There wasn't enough intrigue, there wasn't enough mystery. People solved the mystery very quickly, and then waited for the game to reveal what they already knew. But, other than that, and I've heard some people say they love Gold Road, I've heard some people say that it was very disappointing. I always find it difficult to process that, because I know for a fact there are a bunch of people out there who, they probably believe somewhere that they're being objective, but you can see that they're just ready to hate on something, and all they've got to find is the particular reason why. Today, I'm going to hate on this thing for that reason, you know? So whenever you get a lot of blowback on something that is recent, like the latest thing that ZOS does, it's hard to know how seriously to take it. But yeah, I've heard some disappointment with Gold Road for sure. Gold Road and High Isle, I think, stand out as not quite as great as some of the others. For some people, it's all... I thought scribing was really good. The story, I mean. But some people really didn't like it, because it's different. It was bound to be divisive. Aaron, I've got this antique rosewood bed. It's huge, around 8 by 8 feet, 8.5 feet. Wow, that is big. It's way too big for me in my room. Want it, Khan, before I put it up for sale or dismantle it? It's a serious question. You should ask Maya about that. I'm not even going to go there. If that is a serious question, but how on earth would we ship something like that halfway around the world? We used to have a giant fuck-off sleigh bed as well. It was very cool in our old house, but when we moved, we got rid of it and moved down to just a standard Scandinavian plain wooden bed.
Hello there.
I think I've run out of hearty garlic corn chowder. Shocking. Whoa. What was that? Jesus, what's going on? The game is just crapping out. Okay, that worked. The other one did not work at all. Alright, well, there we go.
Greetings. Let's do some business.
And Aheld saying, High Isle was a nice addition since it doesn't involve the end of the world for once. Well, there we go. Immediately, Aheld, like, saying the opposite of what I said, was trying to find a chapter release that didn't seem to go down so well. I think I've made the argument that for content, the Legacy of the Bretons year was just amazing. 2 dungeon DLCs which were absolutely kick-ass. Coral Eyrie and Shipwright's Regrets. Oh, sorry. Coral Eyrie and... Oh my god. Yeah, it was Shipwright's Regret. It was. And then, that was Ascending Tide. Then we got High Isle itself, which is a really, really beautiful zone. Gorgeous. Very cool assets in that one. The fact that you see the furnishings used so often, I think, says a lot. And regardless of how people felt about the narrative, the zone itself, and the trial is like a firm favorite, isn't it? How many people love Dreadcell Reef? So many people's favorite. And then, the second DLC, what was it called? The dreaded one, Update 35. Lost Depths.
That's it, man.
Game over, man.
It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, Anok summed it up. There we go. The content was amazing. The trials were one of my favorites, but the zone story quest kind of treats you like a dumbass. Yeah, Fire Song. Oh, you think Fire Song was bad? So I haven't played Galen. Yeah, Ascending Tide, High Isle, Lost Depths, Fire Song. I thought that was like a really strong year for content. People keep saying Elsewhere was like the best. I think that one might have it beat. Sure, we didn't have dragons. And Elsewhere, North and South were really cool, but I don't know, I think I think that one is at least comparable, if not superior. Erin gifting a tier 1 sub to Anox Aero. Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you for the support. Massively appreciated. By the way, guys, I should make that clear, especially when we take a day off. Every drop of support that you guys are giving to support the ongoing production of Ninjapool's collection of enterprises, you know, whether it's Discord, the guild itself, the YouTube, the Twitch channel, all of it is enormously appreciated. Never ever taken for granted, so I will always, I will never not feel slightly guilty if I have to take a sick day now and again or whatever it is. But yeah, it's going to happen, it's got to be done. And the Bonafide Beast, speaking of subclassing, I haven't got to mess with it at all. Okay, well, you were in for a treat. I don't have any characters at 50 yet, but what are your thoughts on it as a whole? A good or bad addition? It's definitely a good addition. No question. Absolutely no question. Anyone who says subclassing is trash or bad or wrong, they are just confusing a gut reaction or a personal preference with like an objective position on the issue. You know what I mean? I think it's completely valid for people to say, I don't like subclassing, but they don't have to do it, you know? So, yeah, I think the argument pretty much goes straight down the toilet. The subclassing is a bad addition to the game. A lot of people thought that, and I just didn't even bother to argue with them. I was surprised at first, because change is usually met with skepticism. I was surprised and quite negative. I was like, why are they doing this? What's the purpose? But as soon as I actually used it, all of that pretty much melted away. The issue for me is that it was not done. You could say either it was done too early, or it was poorly implemented. Whichever you prefer. They both amount to the same thing, which is that it created a lot of new problems, which were, you know, 6 months later nearly still haven't been solved, and we're talking about solving them over the course of next year, and that's unfortunate. Even if they're not game-breaking, but they pissed a lot of people off. I don't think that was worth it. I don't think it was worth it to have subclassing come out with this big splash in Update 46, only for people to then fall, not necessarily out of love with subclassing as an idea, but with the current way that it was implemented. And just for some people, they fell out of love with the game and with ZOS as a result. They felt like this was shoddily done or poorly communicated or whatever. I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth, but yeah, that some people have been really bummed about it. I'm not one of them. I just think it's regrettable. But yeah, it's definitely a good addition to the game. Like Sublikash saying Greymoor's a good one. Anoxero, for me, Blackwood and High Isle were the serious disappointments in terms of story. Thank you so much, Erin. Yeah, absolutely. How many dishes are you making there, Kanye? Exactly.
I can tell
All of them.
Someone is serious about their carpentry purchases. Convince me of your intent.
Mr. Windsor, Blackwood were the first DLC I bought because of the companions, plus the Adoring fan. Fair enough. Firesong was update 35? No, it was not. Firesong was update 36. I would be amazed if I'm wrong about that. I could be. I could be wrong every time I open my mouth. It's perfectly possible. I'm not that arrogant to believe otherwise. But I did so much content and hand-wringing and explanation and all of that stuff about Update 35. I'm fairly certain it was Lost Depths. Because, yeah, we even made a video about how the dungeons were really great and nobody gave a shit. Like, it was arguably the best dungeon DLC we had ever had. Earthenroot Enclave was really interesting, really gorgeous. Like, definitely one of the most beautiful dungeons. And it had some very cool fights in it. And Graven Deep went straight to the top as one of my all-time favorites. I think it is genuinely Maya's favorite dungeon ever. I think Shipwright's Regret is mine. But again, that was the same year of content. So, Yeah, and nobody cared. Like, everyone was too busy fighting and arguing and getting stressed about all the Update 35 changes, which, we're not going to get into it, but which, by the way, all of that toxicity around OpenSoul, all of that, 3 years of it stems from Update 35 and the mistakes that were made as part of that update. OpenSoul emerged as this ridiculously broken heavy attack thing, and they didn't know how to solve it. So they worked very, very slowly, and then eventually once players had got used to it, they had to stealth nerf it, and now that's why there are so many people who refuse to ditch the damn thing. Because, you know, it's created this enmity in amongst the player base, which is really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. Dragons in your own homeland, Anox, yeah. And personally, I really like the stories that cast our character in a supportive role. We're always main characters, I know, since it gets a little old that we're always the chosen one. The vestige, the champion. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Oblivion was cool like that. Martin was the chosen one. You know? The only one who can save the world again, since it's doomed again by another evil demonic monster god again. Yeah, yeah. I think that is like page 1, paragraph 1 of player criticisms of storytelling in ESO. All the stuff, there's loads of good, obviously, but yeah, if we have gripes, it is an over-reliance on that particular formula. Because, admittedly, it's hard to avoid. What stories do you tell in this world? The key to breaking it, I hope, is going to be what they're doing with moving away from that chapter format. It's going to give them more freedom to tell any kind of story. A heist story, a romance, I don't know, a tale of succession, a murder mystery. There are all these things that you could do. It's just a comedy caper. I don't fucking know. It's an entire world with several dimensions, you know, many dimensions. There are all kinds of crazy things that you can do. The sky's the limit. If the writers are ambitious and clever enough, and they definitely have some very good ones over at ZOS. So yeah, I'm fairly interested. I'm pretty excited as to what we see over the next couple of years. I really hope they take some big swings now that we're done with the chapter. Because let's be real, Solstice is good. Seasons of the Worm Cult has been good for me. I don't love the trial that much. I think that could have been stronger. It's a rare trial that isn't a bullseye from ZOS. I think Kind's Aegis, Sanity's Edge, and Ossian Cage are the only ones that I feel that way about. I think all the other ones are pretty much a freaking bullseye. Like, they're so close to... They're not perfect, but they're close enough that it seems kind of dumb to complain, except about specific things. But yeah, Ossian, Kind's, and Sanity's Edge, I think, do have some more prominent issues that a lot of players share. But Lord, I really wish they'd made this year's story the 10th anniversary. Yeah, I said as much a year and a half ago. Wouldn't it be cool if, you know, we get a return of Manimako and the 5 companions? We haven't really got the 5 companions. And I wonder how much that had to do with the SAG after a voice actor's strike. Who the hell knows? But yeah, Anoxera subclassing is not the issue. Just not happy with ZOS's way of balancing it. Like, it makes people who avoid subclass feel weak. Exactly. And yeah, all I can say is that I've been yelling about this pretty much ever since it arrived on the live server. I think probably even before it went live. I reached the conclusion, personally, that they should rebalance the classes. Like, they should just do a complete overhaul if they wanted to make this thing work. And we don't know that that's what they're doing, but I think they are. Otherwise, it'll be very disappointing to have to wait this whole time and then see, yeah, so we've got some updates for you, and it's just a few, you know, a few tweaks, a few nerfs. That'd be a real shame. Very underwhelming. Yeah, not that I disagree, because I don't, but why the 10th anniversary specifically? Well, just because you know, the sequel on the 10th anniversary. I mean, we are still in that anniversary period, I suppose, because they were making the whole thing last 18 months or whatever. Agree, it's fun. They did it too early. Squidwater, yeah, or Squidward 69er. Yeah, that is in a nutshell. Hopefully that's what I said. That's certainly how I feel. Like a janky implementation or an incomplete implementation, Anox, yeah. Belorda, because it was a big celebration last year and going back to the roots would have been perfect. Yeah. Because the game lost depth. Badum. Erin! That's a very good point. I do wonder how much we'll be going back to the roots with Eastern Solstice. How far they're willing to take it. Spoiler alert, no. We are, you know, there's a familiar antagonist. I'm sorry if anyone doesn't know that already. You must have been living under a rock. I did a video almost a year ago explaining why I was 97% sure this particular figure was coming back in 2025, and I was very swiftly proved right. Not in every supposition or prediction, but, you know, there was a book in Oblivion which describes this face-off between two bitter rivals, historic rivals for hundreds of years. And by the time of Oblivion, of course, which is, you know, 1,000 years in the future, 800 years in the future or whatever, it's ancient history. But, you know, for the Elder Scrolls Online, it was in the future. And I was making the case that, well, maybe this is in the very near future.
How can I help you? Hello there.
Am I out of, I'm out of food again, aren't I? Different one. Oh, afterwards. I mean, I see. But Lord, you were right, it was a DLC, one DLC off. I just hated Firesong so much, so I associated it with terrible changes. Thanks for lurking, Anox. Hopefully catch you later. Mr. Windsor, what's the new thing with the dialogue that lets you choose good or bad responses? Does it even matter? There are going to be some choices in the new... mostly it just affects what they say back to you. You know, you can flirt a little bit, so you'll get a slightly different remark from the NPC. But, no, generally it doesn't change outcomes. However, in the upcoming story, that is a big thing in Eastern Solstice that they... a big sort of selling point. They are starting to play around with branching story paths, so you can get probably not dramatically different outcomes. I really don't know. I haven't played the whole of the eastern side. I mostly just explored. But yeah, that can only mean that in future there will be DLCs that aren't as... or storylines, and narrative arcs that, let's say, aren't as integral to the plot of the entire Elder Scrolls mythos, Elder Scrolls lore. Because this one's pretty big. You know, what happens with the worm cults on Solstice is... it's pretty major. I don't think we can have it that the worm cult are triumphant, for example. But they might be able to do something like that in an unwritten part of Elder Scrolls history. Which, you know, most of this is. They're so to speak, making it up as they go along. It might be possible for them to do a quest line which can have dramatically different consequences at the end. And when you revisit the area with that character, things will be very different to when you revisit with one of your other characters or for another player. I'm sure that's the thing that they're considering. It's just whether or not it's worth spending money on. You know, players have to feel like that was a really weighty moment in the story and that it was worth it. Otherwise, you end up doing this thing where you are, you know, you have a limited amount of budget, and if you spend 50% of your budget in terms of characters, dialogue especially, and art assets and what have you, on things that people aren't going to see, then people are asking questions like, what the hell? You know, where's the value added? Beat the players over the head with your budget. Make sure they see it. Put the money on screen. So yeah, it has to feel... it has to feel really weighty and earned, I guess. What a nice badumts. But yeah, Mr. Windsor, for now it's fairly superficial. but I'm hoping it'll be more... I keep using the word weighty. What's a better word? It'll be a little bit more dramatic, like profound differences, depending on choices that you make. And I had to say, part of me still wants to hear me out for Zos to create a second Tamriel. Since the game has been going for years, it'll be cool to see how everything turns out in the future by making a second instance, something we could visit, allowing us to switch back and forth between the two. It will never happen, not in a million years, because it'll be a total remaster, despite them having the graphics and landscapes done. But I can daydream. I don't know, I think a version of what you're saying there is not out of the question. Yeah, a second instance for everything. I don't know, but yeah, areas that move on based on things that you do in them. And maybe this could be done one zone at a time, or, you know, if I don't know, say in 2027, we get a big Valenwood story. Maybe they add a bunch of new things throughout Valenwood. So there is plenty of new content, but a lot of it is new stories, characters, voice lines, combat, you know, quests and all that stuff in existing areas, and that will that could coincide with a remaster, like they did for the, you know, for the starter islands, like Kanathe's Roost. The coast looks so much better than it did a couple of years ago. It could coincide A, with that, you know, a refresh of these areas, and then B, potentially a longer lasting, more profound shift in the way that they look afterwards. I don't know. But you could do it. You could slice it up. A little bit like the crossplay question. You know, having pure crossplay with absolutely no limitations is almost certainly never going to happen, based on everything that I've heard, read, and understand. But a version of it where certain things are crossplay, certain things can be shared or transferred or what have you, that should be doable. And it's just a question of where you draw the line in terms of player satisfaction, player demand, player appreciation, and the amount that it costs, and what you will and won't be able to do with your resources for the rest of that year in order to do it. Kind of interesting, like, commercial decisions to be made around this stuff, actually. But Lord, I feel like the game is telling me something. The event crafting daily is giving me bait. Nice. And Moose, am I the only one who doesn't care about ESO's graphics? The game looks better than some games released today. I don't need it to look more realistic. Well, yeah, so I'm with you. It's not that I don't care about the graphics, but I think it looks alright. Some of the older areas would be fun. Like, let's go to Bleak Rock. Bear in mind, I have the game I'm playing in 4K with everything maxed the fuck out. So it is not possible to make it look better than this. But Bleak Rock, for instance, did not benefit anywhere near as much, in my opinion, from the refresh as Kanathe's Roost did. Like, look at it's very sparse in terms of grass here. I know it's snowy. It's like, it kind of works. And it looks beautiful in a cute kind of way, in an MMO sort of way. But yeah, as we talked about before, once you get close to this foliage, you can see that it's just 3 planes shoved together, one vertical, one lateral, and, you know, one bisecting the two. And then occasionally a diagonal thrown in there as well. The illusion breaks very quickly. Compared to, say, Solstice. Or maybe let's go to Westweald instead. I know not everyone loves Westweald, but the density of the detail, for one thing. It allows the areas to be a little bit more transportive. Whether you need to update all the base games like that is a very good question. I don't have the answer to it. But immediately there's a shit ton of extra detail. And to be fair, you got the same issue with the tree foliage. It's just hidden a little bit better because they're not completely flat. They curve and bend, and it's only when you look closely. The illusion is a little more convincing. You have to go a little bit closer before it breaks, I think. But the world just feels a lot more interesting immediately. A lot more compelling. So we're not necessarily just talking about graphics, but maybe that part of it. But yeah, I agree with you. The game looks awesome. Even the worst looking zone in the game still looks pretty great. What do you guys think the worst looking zone is? Like, objectively. Ted Meister, I'm playing some ETS today. Really happy with myself for finally hitting the 100k mark. Gonna replace Coag for Scalding Rune. Fun. And Mirak, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Aaron, maybe something like a Nightmare Realm of Tamriel technically would serve as a new instance, using the same assets but reskinned. And it could add infinite possibilities of things they could do with it. They could go crazy. That is actually interesting. That's a good call. They've already done a lot of that. Obviously limited versions of it, limited instances, but in Sanity's Edge, that's what we get. We get nightmare versions of Orsinium and Alinor. Obviously in...
There you are.
There you are.
I have been expecting.
Yeah, I bet you have.
There you are.
Also UFO and aliens in ESO, that'll be cool. No, it wouldn't. No, I think that would be way too far for me. I don't think I could get with that. Westworld, the zone of my nightmares. Yeah, I know, Valorda. Craglorn fishing. Yay! I heard Sanity's Edge. You did hear Sanity's Edge. Oh, so want that goat. Let's do it, Lily. I don't have it either. I've never even been in a trifecta group for that trial. I just don't like the trial. And most trifecta groups are a fucking pain in the ass to run or to be a part of. So... actually, that's not quite fair. Maybe not most, but a lot of them are. They're always a pain to run. I think I've been in... I've run several, and only one of those was, like, particularly smooth. I've been in one other that was also pretty smooth. All the others have been a nightmare to some degree. But I guess in Sanity's Edge, that would be appropriate. Aaron, I'm not an uneducated person who does not know the difference between UFOs and aliens. So glad you separated UFO and aliens. Yeah, worst looking zone. What do you guys think? I think Bleak Rock is up there. Not because I think it looks shit in particular, it's just... It's probably got the fewest bells and whistles. The atmosphere is really good. You know, the snowy vibe. The pine woods look fairly plausible. The mountains. It's very cartoony though, compared to, again, something like... You compare it to Hrothgar, which is only a couple of years later. Yeah, Lily, you just in there once. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's not going to happen immediately, but if you want it, go get it. But Lord, I could complain about my trifecta prog, but we started September 1st, and Monday we're starting with a 4th trial. I mean, a lot of the trifectas, you just go in and get it. You know, Otto didn't Otto do a Dawnbringer group? It was literally one day. So anything that isn't recent can be done in a single pull. Like if people know what they're doing. And I honestly don't really know how I feel about that. I know it's creating more room for people to go and get these things fast, which is good. But it feels like such a fuck you to everyone who did these things when they were difficult. It really does. And I'm sure people who had Planesbreaker in the first couple of years are already feeling that way now. And Planesbreaker is by no means easy. Not compared to, say, Immortal Redeemer or a TikTok Tormentor or whatever. Hey, Craig Campbell, thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. Welcome, everybody. This is Khan. You're watching Ninja Pulls. Hope you're having a good Friday. Hope you've had a good week. I have not, but fuck it. It's behind me now. Or nearly is. And, yeah, I'm enjoying just a nice hang with you guys. Hey. Official Jose, or am I pronouncing that wrong? Yeah, but a lot of, like, TikTok took 2 nights. First night was also getting to know each other and what's expected. Grim, why not a good week? Everything was shit this week, pretty much. Awful luck. Some awful people. Almost all of it unrelated to ESO, to be fair. So don't worry about that. And none of it related to you guys. You guys are awesome. But yeah, just personal stuff. And I've got a million things to do, and I have time to do maybe half of them, and it really sucks. Yeah, I don't want to take a week off streaming. That's no good. Can't do that. But I can't not sleep either. There's just all these things that I need to do. So I'm feeling it. But everyone has these, you know, crunch times at work, or times when you've got to do a million things at home and work just ain't helping, even if it isn't the problem at the heart of it. So I'm not going to complain too much. I'm just going to grumble a little bit here and there. Is the Elder Scrolls High Elf Nightblade Assassin good class? Jose, I hope I'm saying that right. There are no classes anymore as such. We've got a thing called subclassing now, which means you can, if you are a Nightblade, you can, out of your 3 skill lines, you can change 2 of them to anything you want. With some very limited restrictions. But yeah, a High Elf Magicka Nightblade is a perfectly good place to start. If you don't really care about it being High Elf, you could maybe make it a Khajiit or a Dark Elf. I guess those are slightly more optimal in that then you can switch between Magicka and Stamina if you want. A High Elf is very good for Magicka. It's the best for Magicka. But if one day you decide, this will work a little bit better if I go with Stamina, then you will lose a fair amount of damage making that switch. I mean, not a huge amount, like 3% or something. It's not a big deal. But then, you know, in those cases, a Dark Elf might be a little bit better.
Hello there.
But yeah, go for it. Go for it. There is a video on our YouTube for new players talking about which resource to pick and all of that stuff, if you want to check that out. Hello there, Pride Claw. How you doing? Lord, I'll be able to get you dungeon ones easier. Help me get all the trifectas, Erin. Can't find out who's Danish. Jesus. Here, Moose, I got news for you. You're Swedish. That's even worse. Yikes. Sorry, brother. Pride Claw, greetings, gentlemen and ladies, of course. Greetings. Official Jose, yeah, you've seen that. Well, there we go. So yeah, High Elf Assassin, if you like the feel of that, go with it. You can always race change later if it's a disaster, but if you're not particularly attached to the race, you don't really care if it looks a little bit different. Dark Elf. Now, this is a Nightblade. This is a Dunmer Nightblade. And she can go Magicka or Stamina without losing anything. But yeah, Nightblade best class. Clearly. Clearly. Swedish cringe. Yeah. Now, Swedes are awesome. Obviously, I'm just kidding. Streamer abusing viewers. Yeah, that's exactly it. Arias Grim saw the announcement of the cancelled stream. Hope everything is okay. Yeah, man, thank you. All done and dusted. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, Aaron, if you want to get some dungeon trifectas, let's freaking go. I want to do more teaching trials. I want to set up more prog groups. I just need our bloody raid leads to come back and do their job. One of them is definitely not coming back. Sin. I don't see any sign of him returning. One of them is coming back. I just don't know when. I guess probably in a month or 2. And the other one, I think, is coming back, but probably not until next year. So my schedule is artificially, I can't cancel these prog groups, but no one else is interested in helping. So it sucks. I've already had to lean on one of our healers to help with the comp. Thankfully, she seems very happy to do that. But literally nobody else is interested in lifting a finger to help me. But of course, nobody wants these prog groups to be cancelled, including me. So we need to sort out that that side of things in the guild. For those of you who don't play on PCEU or aren't on the Ninja Balls Discord at all, apologies. You don't need to hear any of this. This is all like internal stuff. But yeah, man, it's adding to the feeling of just being utterly buried. Let's see, what setups have I got saved here? Right, switching off the Rune Blade setup because that was dumb for you know, for the overworld stuff that we're doing here. So after 20 you have to delete someone? Yeah. The limit of extra character slots? Yeah, it's just 20, yeah. So Eleanor, have to goodbye then. Alright. And by the way, Prideclaw, it's the name is Khan. You feel free to call me Ninja, that's absolutely fine. It's kind of a cool nickname, I'll take it. But yeah, Ninja Pulls is the name of the guild and the channel and whatnot. Maya, my wife, and I run that together. So yeah, her name's Maya, my name's Khan. But yeah, you can call me Ninja, it's absolutely fine. The lens is missing again, no. Right, Bonafide B, well chat, have a great day and a great weekend. Sorry Khan, the week stunk. Thanks man. Hope this weekend goes better. I gotta go, heading to the hospital for a good thing. Hoping to meet my daughter soon. Oh, fantastic! Nice one, Bonafide B. Well, all the best over the coming days. May it go smoothly and quietly, fat chance. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be glorious either way. All the best, man. OMG, Lord, I don't have a trial tonight. What am I gonna do? I had one each night this week. Alitario, thanks for the insights, yeah. No worries. Erin, I was in a lot into Truz 2 years ago. Got a lot of hard modes back then. Then life happened, couldn't play ESO so much. Came back to the game this year, but I've been too much into PvP this time. Yeah, there's just not enough time. But nor do I recommend being one of those people who's desperate to get the trifectas fast. And who then fails to stay interested in the social aspect. I completely understand how people end up in that position, but it is a trap. Do not... It's a trap! Don't fall into that trap. You become just a pain in the ass to play with. If you're that person who just wants the achievement and doesn't care about anything else. Those people are awful. Not because they're bad people, but they become terrible teammates. So resist that particular... Resist that one. Yeah, Prideclaw saying, yo, congrats, fantastic news. Yeah, man. Congratulations. Why wait till September specifically? Because I guess M's going to be back. And Prideclaw, my bad. Didn't have an idea. I'll keep that in mind. I'm not even sure what that was referring to. Sorry. Speaking of Maya, Shiv put that ESO cookbook out. No, that's a Christmas thing. And I'm not even sure we hit the... I don't think we hit the sub goal for that. So technically, she shouldn't make it, but I think she's going to. But yeah, you can ask her when she's back on. Got a DD in my group right now, it's got 36 HP. Well, that's fun. Also, Khan is a cool name, honestly. Yeah. Very Turkish, very cool. Lily Dryad, Spontaneous Sanity's Edge. Of course, Pelota so she can continue her trial streak. Yeah, exactly, Erin. I care about having fun, others to be doing daily writs. Yeah. Lady Spitfire, have a nice lurk. And Erin, yeah, want a surprise 2-month vacation starting in September. Gotcha. Go be back in Nov. What are the drops, Etigoops? You can see right at the top of the channel. There's a crate, there's a mount, there is a pet. They are on for another few days. Get them while they last. Anyone want to join me for these? I am online. You can plus up on the PC EU server to the Khan
Fellowship, no? Let me mark.
if you want to join.
Plain meld is
Yeah, the reason I do the daily writs, Aaron, is so that I can afford to do all the giveaways on this channel and buy some crown crates with gold now and then. Which is pretty nice, pretty handy. Yeah, an Oriel mount and the Imperial War Dog, correct. Just make sure that your Twitch account and your ESO account are linked. And then as soon as you've earned them, you will see them pop up in-game in your collections. Vinsaskal. Yo, guys, I'm probably pronouncing that badly, but apologies if I am. Venkaskal. Yo, guys, I've also played the game 2017. What just came to game was the housing update. That time I was tryharding. I'm thinking of returning, but this time as a chill player. Are there a lot of changes? Oh my god, yes. Yes, there are a lot of changes. So... No, Aaron, it's all good. Just goofing. So yeah, we got hybridization, which means that things that cost stamina do not scale to stamina and weapon damage anymore. They will scale with whatever is highest. Spell critical, max magicka, spell damage. If those are higher, you can still use surprise attack, or killer's blade, or whatever. You know, like it doesn't. The game is hybridized between magicka and stamina now. That might sound weird, but that is definitely a good thing. Like, absolutely no doubt. And since then, they also added scribing, which is not an enormous system, but is quite complicated. It means that a bunch of weapons, all the weapon skill lines have one. The Mages Guild has a couple as well. Fighters Guild has one. You've got these special abilities that are not leveled, but it's a little bit like spellcrafting light. So you can customize them to do what you want. Customize their damage type, the buff they provide, the effect that they do, whether it's a heal, a CC, whatever. Loads of stuff like that. And then finally, and most recently, subclassing. Which means that although this is a Nightblade, look, I've got Adric Spear right here. I've got Storm Calling. Those are Templar and Sorcerer lines specifically. I have to keep at least one Nightblade skill line, because I'm a Nightblade. I can only use class sets that are for my original class. I can never take two skill lines from anything except my own, and I can only use, going back to the scribing, the spellcrafting type thing we just talked about, if I want to use a scribed ability, each class has its own little script that you can put on there. So a unique little thing that it does. I cannot use the Warden, Templar, Dragon Knight versions of those. I can only use the Nightblade one. To use the others, I would have to relog to another character. But then again, that character could also run exactly these three skill lines if it was a Templar or a Sorcerer. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, there is a shitload of stuff that has changed. Rhea Scrim, sorry I haven't been keeping up lately. Is she taking a break? Hope everything is alright. No, Maya is working her ass off. I mean, not today. Today she's in recovery mode, but she's been working like 18-hour days almost every day. And she streams here with me when she can. But yeah, she's running herself into the ground, basically, so that we can afford to do this. I went full-time with content creation this year. And it's going great. It's going well. It's a very hard thing to make work. But the goal is not just for me to do it, it's for both of us to do it. And that is even tougher. You know, we don't live with our parents. We have much more lucrative careers, which we have decided to step away from in order to try and make this work. So yada 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 yada. But there's a lot that goes into making that transition take place. Rias Grim. I hope that makes sense. And Moose, I don't need any more golden materials. I don't know why I still do Ritz. Just the thing I do. Interesting. And Edgroups, thank you, sir. And then a bit ago, just making sure I hadn't missed out on something new. Excellent. No worries. LeBron, I'll find you in Ciro and probably die. Moose, didn't they leave like a 1 to 3 skills that don't scale? Yeah, but they're always. If there's anything like that, it is indicated in the tooltip, and I think they've gone actually. I think those are all being removed. The only two I can think of off the top of my head was Backlash. So Power of the Light and Purifying Light. They remained, they weren't resource agnostic. Vinsasko, yeah, pronouns was correct. Thank you for your explanation. It's great. Awesome. Nice. Well, welcome on in. Welcome. Yeah, they updated Backlash. Yeah, it was quite a while ago. I think for like a year, maybe. It was still like that, but I think it may have been 6 months. I think it might even have been update 36. So the one after, it might even have been Fire Song. So what would that be? 9 months after hybridization was introduced. Yeah, LeBro, I hear you. It's easy when you have 5 characters, but anything over is a pain. Yeah, doing Ritz itself is not bad. Logging in and out of characters is a dozen times what I don't like. Going through all the loading screens, yeah. Yeah, automating it would be nice, wouldn't it? It really would. Alright, let's go and do a siege camp. But yeah, Moose, I can't think of any others. Apologies. So I can't quite put that question to bed, but as far as I can recall, we're all good on the hybridization front. It's all, well, with a couple of little outliers, you know, potions, buffs, things like that, which it's not clear whether they're going to do. Hybridization is complete, with just a few little outliers. Real Scrim, wow, that's so much working. Yeah, it really is. It really is. She's a crazy lady. No, we're done here. Pretty much just the, just this guy. Boop. Wow, it feels like there's a real delay here. I'm guessing somebody else has put Major Breach on him. I hope so. I'm not bothering to recast it. Yeah, Real Script, so much working. I feel that I'm full-time also. Luckily, my husband affords me the opportunity to do so. But yeah, to have you all both go full-time would be huge. Yeah, kind of crazy. It would be really nice though. That's kind of what the guild is built around. That's the whole thing. We really started hitting this hard during lockdown. And there's so much we can do together that just doesn't work anywhere near as well if we're just doing it separately. So I'm hopeful. Maya is chasing, you know, sponsored opportunities on here like a mad woman. You know, we're getting somewhere. We're finally at the size where some of those are starting to happen, but a lot of them, it's like, yeah, the money sounds wonderful, but no one in my community would watch that. Like, if I were to do that on stream, all of you guys watching right now would just check the fuck out. So it's not as simple as I would love it to be. Ritz is not only mats, it's gold, gold, my dwarves. Exactly, Belorda. Show me the money. I will always love Cuba Gooding Jr. for that performance, right? Show me the money. Brideclaw, you know, I kind of think that this taking down the wall event and everyone working together was the best activity in ESO so far. I hope they do more stuff like this where we all work together. They absolutely will. Make sure you, like, tell Zos that somehow. I don't know how. There's so much white noise on the forums, but I feel like all they've had from this event is hate and whining and complaining. I shouldn't say whining, because a lot of the disappointment is completely justified, as far as I can tell. Part of it is to do with expectations being a little bit too high. I wasn't as disappointed by the event because I knew what was coming. I'd been on PTS, I'd seen what it was, I'd read everything that Zos had told us. A lot of people did not do that. I'm not saying it's their fault, but it's regrettable, isn't it? Hey, let's do the heavy attack thing. By the way, guys, it appears that if you heavy attack, you get way more things to loot. It's easier, obviously, if you have a ranged weapon. You just stand here heavy attacking everything. But it's not even just the enemies that you damage. Everything around you starts to glow yellow when it dies. So I've just been keeping up my dots and then heavy attacking stuff. We have no idea why it works this way, but Olibo shared this in the content creator Discord, and a lot of us said, right, well, we're going to test this. And everyone who has tested it has come back saying the same thing. Yeah, this, we have no idea why, but it seems to work. So throw in a heavy attack. At least one. When you start. Yeah, look at that. 10 souls already. Just a hot tip there. Brideclaw, you know, I kind of think that reminds me of early Cyrodiil times, but PvE, yeah. Well, they will definitely do it again. There was if you're interested, Mike Finnegan, the lead encounter designer. Basically, if you kill it or it kills you in this game, he or one of his teams made it. That's how he describes his contribution. He did a pretty long interview with. I did it with a bunch of outlets, but with Forbes magazine in particular, that was the one I read. And yeah, it was all about how this is just the start. They're going to be doing so many more things like this. Things with a temporary component. Things where, you know, you will update the map through this activity as you progress. And all this kind of stuff. It's, you know, potentially quite exciting. Erin, speaking of materials, need to buy some for my house so my feet stay comfy. Materials? I get it. You talk about mats. Oakensoul meta is back, baby. Yeah. You don't... It isn't. God damn it. Oakensoul is not synonymous with one bar or with heavy attack. Never has been. I was playing a heavy attack sorcerer 3 years or whatever before Oakensoul first came along. Alright? I ditched it as soon as it stopped being the meta, because, yeah, the damage from it wasn't that good, and it was kind of clunky and boring to play, but it got results, and you just couldn't sustain. It was from Morrowind into the Somerset patches. So in Morrowind, they nerfed the crap out of sustain, so we had heavy attack, especially Sorks, around that time, and then into Somerset, that was when the meta shifted again. And people moved on. But a lot of people just liked the playstyle. Same with one bar. There were plenty of people who would just play a one bar build just for complete ease of use. Or they would be happy doing 2 bars if they were just DPS. But if they were doing Maelstrom Arena, they would bring a werewolf or a 1 bar heavy armor type setup. It was possible. And back then, the arena was a lot more difficult to complete. And you couldn't get the weapons on normal. You had to do veteran. So doing normal was pointless, except for practice. Yeah, so back then, one-bar builds, they were very, very niche. They weren't exactly popular, but they were definitely a thing that everyone knew about. And heavy attack builds as well. Yep. Prideclaw, is it because people don't want to play in massive groups? I mean, to me, it was really fun to work for a common goal and having phases too, while earning cosmetic rewards. I think the complaints are more to do with the fact that, one, the quests are not that interesting. They're very familiar fetch quest format. This one's fine, you know, go do a siege camp, come back, because the siege camps are inherently fun. I don't mind that. It's a very simple fetch quest, but at the root of it involves going to do one of these encounters, which it's like doing a dragon. It's like shagging a dragon, a shaggin. It's like, you know, ganging up on one of those dragons. Jesus, ganging up. Why do I have to choose my words so badly? You know what I mean? Any kind of overworld content. Harrow Storms in Western Skyrim. Dragons in Elsewhere. The Miramore incursions here in Westweald. These are just quite fun. You know, they're not... it's not a dungeon or a trial fight, but it's something. So I don't think anybody really minds that fetch quest. But... And the crafting quests are fine as well. No big deal about that. But charging the lens, the drop rate on those souls was a little bit low. We've now figured out we can cheese it by heavy attacking, so fine. And these ones, the ones that you get from Quartermaster Nawalne down here, she gives you these fetch quests in Overland. The drop rate is terrible. They've buffed it a little bit, and there are ways to... You know, if you group up and whatnot, you can get it done very quickly. But people didn't like the format of the quests or the drop rate. And then some people are really butthurt that Zos are fiddling the numbers on the wall itself, so that we all progress at a similar-ish pace. I personally couldn't give a rat's ass about that, but I get it. If other people care, then you've got to pay attention to it. Other people are saying that it makes it meaningless to do the dailies, because it's fixed, it's rigged anyway. I think that's... I can't get with that attitude, but it's there. Enough people have it, I'm not just going to dismiss it. But yeah, those are the kind of things that people have talked about. Prideclaw. Kidding to say, I said, I used your hot tip last night, Carl. Works great. Which hot tip was that? Last time I used my hot tip, it was on your mama. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Jesus, what is wrong with me today? Welcome on in. This is Idiot Cast with Khan from Ninja Pulls. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good Friday. I can't imagine they completely faked the numbers. No, of course not. But people are saying that. Clearly, the population on EU and NA is not the same. And, you know, Xbox EU is famously fairly quiet, but they are winning. Right? They are the furthest ahead of anyone, and they have been throughout this process. So I think some people are annoyed about that. I don't understand, because the alternative is to have it just be based on, you know, if an Xbox EU player does a daily quest, hands it in, that means the same amount of progress as me doing a quest and handing it in here on PC EU. That makes no sense, because the Xbox players would take a month to get... They would take ages to get through this thing. Because there's nowhere near the population. So the numbers have to be... There has to be some sort of a multiplier in the first place. That was clear to me from the beginning. I always assumed Zos would do that. Other people, I guess, who hadn't thought about it were then shocked to see that, well, how can Xbox be in the lead? There's no one there, compared to the PC servers, which are really big in terms of player population. So I think some people just didn't think it through, and they're butthurt about that. Others were fine with it until they saw that the numbers were... Those multipliers were being tweaked, and progress seemed like it was maybe being reset. I think evidence has shown that that is not what was happening, but whatever. It's a whole thing. But yeah, kidding. So I'm curious as to which tip. Is this the latest video you're talking about? And Moose saying, Ulkun cult infiltrated my social guild's chat yesterday. Fun, fun, fun. Balorda, 575, or 5,075 gold. A level 50 character when you have the green CP for more gold. So I've got 20 characters, so yeah. It's 710,000 gold a week. Not including ornate stuff. Yeah. Thanks for that. Sounds about right. Sounds a little high. But I guess if you're dealing with all the materials and everything, yeah. Zosh should finish the changes they did to Empower and bring them back for light attacks. Stronger light attacks make Velothi a balanced mythic by making other stuff more competitive. Ooh, I like this. So yeah, the reason for Velothi... Sorry, Erin. The reason for Empower getting changed was because Update 35, when it arrived on PTS, it was pitched as this big opening up of accessibility for less experienced or more casual players. Right? That's why we have such long, weak dots these days. Or just such long dots. And yeah, long, weak dots, basically. So dots lose out to direct damage a lot of the time. Direct damage is king, is the phrase that I like to use. But yeah, the diagnosis was broadly correct. You know, some people are finding the game difficult, but the exact reasons as to why, I think they believed what the players were saying. I struggle with the game because ... And as we know very well, if we pay any attention to psychologists who work in video game design, they always say the same thing. When players say they have a problem, believe them without question. When they tell you what the problem is or how to fix it, ignore them completely. They're always wrong. Of course, it's not quite that simple. But we tend to misdiagnose what the issues are. So Zos fell into that trap. They changed the nature of Empower, and they made it so that actually casual groups were going to lose a ton of damage compared to more organized groups. One of the ways in which they tried to remedy this was just by changing Empower to only affect heavy attacks. And they did this at the last minute in PTS. So I don't think there was sufficient thought, and certainly not enough testing put into that decision. So that's why it works the way it works. So Erin, yeah. Obviously it would have to be... It's a lot more complex than we're making it sound, but basically, yeah. Maybe try reverting and see what happens. Anyway, let's catch up with you guys now. Like to play catch. This whole event has been like buying crown crates. You buy a shitload in the hopes of getting one or two of the actual decent items, actually ending up with sweet F all. Oh, see, I haven't found that. I'm getting my stuff every day. There we go. Got my page. Got my 10,000 treasure. Alright, this is one I've already had drop like 3 times. The Stoic Fellowship chests, but the stuff is dropping. But yeah, I know some people have been disappointed with the drop rates, but when you consider how long the event goes on for, I think they probably got them about right. Could they be a bit more generous? Or do you just mean doing the fetch quests and getting nothing from every mob that you kill? Because if you mean that, then I completely agree, yeah. Moose, they couldn't understand at all how you could do one-bar builds without Oaken Soul. Didn't seem to understand one-bar builds existed before Oaken Soul. Yeah. It's the problem with snake oil salesmen selling a build or an idea and not bothering to explain anything. Because that part is difficult and boring. And takes time. You know? Believe me, I know. I make a lot of YouTube videos. The bit that takes the most time is explaining things carefully. Covering your ass with all the caveats and details and exceptions and all of that stuff. And if you skip all of that shit, you end up with people who have a build that works in certain situations. I'm sure it works. But then they are completely ignorant as to why it works, how it works, and why it doesn't work. Or isn't maybe the best option in other places. And, yeah, hence these kind of discussions, Moose. You're right. I know you tend to blame it on humanity just being stupid. I'm more inclined to blame it on content creators cutting corners. And people making recommendations in-game. Word of mouth. Cutting corners. not bothering to tell the whole story, or not even trying to. But yeah, whatever the reason, it's led to a lot of confusion, a little bit of conflict, a bunch of add-ons. You can go to the login screen and find the add-ons that you don't really need for writs or like general gameplay, and turn them off across the board, and then just turn them back on the characters that need them, like trading add-ons, stuff like that. Master Merchant, for example, this is an awesome add-on. I would not want to be without it, but it is deactivated on every single character except her. She's the only one who has it. A lot of your loading screen time is taken up with add-ons loading. This is what people don't realize. And one of the biggest pains in the devs, one of the biggest thorns in the dev side is them getting blamed. Sure, ESO has its own performance issues. Don't even get me started. But I think one of the biggest bugaboos they have is players complaining about poor performance or long loading screens or whatever when it's add-ons. Add-ons are doing it. Because we don't tend to blame the add-on. It's not where our minds go. So turn off extraneous add-ons, especially trading ones, which are very heavyweight. And your load screens will shrink to a tiny proportion. Like this character, and you can see that, right? Just after I log in with this character, I get sort of choppy frames and bad performance for a few seconds. That is Master Merchant initializing. I used to have that on every character. As soon as I turned it off, just that one add-on probably saves me 10 minutes, I think. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what they've done. It's what they seem to have done, yeah. But Lord, when a message is allowed, the person who allows it can choose if it's one time or until end of stream or permanently allowed, yeah. Kidding, sorry it was AFK, the heavy attacks in the camps. That was it, yeah. And good luck. She's 6 foot under.
Hello there.
Hey, Dark Metal subbed at tier 3. Look at that, thank you Dark Metal, how you doing? Welcome on in, hello there. Come here, my little friend. Don't be afraid. I can't even tell if my impressions are, like, remotely decent, if they're, like, D- or B-. I know they're no better than that. But when I have my headset on, it's really, really noise-cancelling. So all I can hear is my voice in my head. I can't hear it, really, through my ears, as it were. Prepping for a meeting, which is in 6 minutes. Fun. But Lord, I've got to get some tea. Giddings, I'm off home. Catch you later, alright? Safe journey. Might see you later then.
Best to put your nose to the grind. Pad our warriors with reliable defense.
My RNG sucks. Nice to play catch. Aw. Well, the prices are rock freaking bottom, so it doesn't matter. You know, they're so cheap. Even the chests are like 1k. And if you're in a guild, you could just trade. Like we had people the other day. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? Who lives on Drury Lane? Very good, Wild Saber, thank you. I think my best Shrek impression is probably when Puss gets transformed. No, the donkey and Shrek get transformed, don't they? Into a white stallion. But when Fiona finds them, Puss is sitting licking his balls and purring on the back of the horse. And she walks up to him and goes, Shrek? And he just turns and Antonio Banderas goes, for you, baby, I could be. I fucking love that movie. So good. And Rupert Everett as Prince Charming. Ah, so many good things. Yeah, but Lord, there are just players who want to get everything first day. Such a weird expectation. It's an MMO. It's meant for playing long term, yeah. And they deliberately put chases in there. They do it all the time. I don't know. I'm not going to tell anyone they're just wrong, but yeah, there are some attitudes that I don't understand. Like the length of the event and these drops are everywhere. By the way, guys, feel free to trade. If any of you are online and you need stuff. We had this happening in chat the other day. People were saying, oh, I have spare braces. I have spare this and this and that. Speaking of which, I should really go shopping for wicker chain stuff before the prices go crazy. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that first. Aaron, Oakensaw was decent for heavy attack only when Empower was so inaccessible. Pretty much. Pretty much. And then Empower was added to everything. And with Scribing, there's no reason to run Oaken for heavy attack builds. Yeah. Hey, Comedian, thank you for the stretch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you doing, Dark Metal? Hope you're having a good week, my friend. Where should we go? Let's go Deshaan. Actually, no. I'll start with the Impresario to see what I'm missing. Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I don't even know why I'm trying to do a freaking... Oh my god, I've forgotten his name already. No! This keeps happening to me on stream. I want to say John Roderick, but that's a very different guy. John Lithgow, for God's sake. Dark Metal just woke up, actually. Jealous? Jealous merch? Erin's gonna lurk as well, alright? Take it easy, take it easy. Ah, I can't check the guild bank. Some of us have been popping duplicates in there. I wasn't even sure whether we'd opened it. We sometimes close the guild bank during events like this because it's such a freaking night. So Wormwrithe, it's all looking good. I don't see any wicker chain in here. No, nothing. But thanks for the heads up. That's a good call. Alright, let's have a quick look at what I am missing. I'm sure I didn't get all of it. 100%. $11K, I'm definitely not paying that. So it looks like I need the shoulders and the breeches. Maybe that's all. But yeah, Wild Saber, how am I doing with those? Gloves... No. It's just breeches and shoulders, by the look of it. Let's go somewhere a little bit more reasonable. Lebro, I drop what I don't need most of the time into the guild bank. Yeah, feel free. Sometimes, though, if you see there's a lot of it there, maybe think twice and just decon it, destroy it. Otherwise, we have to go out and gut the guild bank later. Can be annoying. But yeah, obviously, it's a good impulse. Share, share, share. Where's a good place to go? Probably up here. I often find that I get good stuff in the Rift, either at Fallowstone Hall or outside Riften. Obviously, the way to do it is to use TTC to check prices. But yeah, welcome on in if you just joined. Hello, hello, happy Friday. This is Khan. You're watching Ninja Pulls. Hope you're having a great week. Welcome on in. We are doing a bit of everything today. Bit of nonsense. Hey, Chief Angel. Thank you for that follow. Love it. Moon Sugar. Love it. Ah, they're a bit pricey, man. People are still not, they're not updating their... I mean, what do I care? I'll just try in Riften. And then screw it, I'll just buy him for whatever. Like, I'm not going to notice 4K difference, you know what I mean? Hey, Clink, 1212. Or 1212. Welcome on in, Clink. How you doing? Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you're all having an excellent week, and the weekend is arriving in style for all of you. What do you got planned? Go ahead, make me jealous. Ah, 12k, that's not too bad. Let's go for that. Belorda, getting a nice chai containing cinnamon, ginger, licorice, clove, black pepper, and cardamom. Sounds awesome. Chai is just tea, right? Yeah. Often refers to a type of tea, but I'm no expert. I'm a coffee man. So we still need breaches. Again, 12k seems reasonable. And that seemed to be it, didn't it? Sorry to ask, but what's chai? What do you need from the Wicked Chainsaw? I might have those in my inventory. I just needed breeches and shoulders. And Pride Claw, Khan, it is not possible for everyone to use the trading posts in the game, yeah? How does it actually work? Basically, if you are a guild admin, you can bid on traders for a week at a time. Bids are secret. They're sealed, so you don't know how much other guilds are bidding. But if you, and when I say bid, it's gold. You have to have the gold available to get them. It's an enormous, enormous amount. It still says I need the breaches because I didn't read that yet. Come on, dude. Gimme. But yeah, that's how it works. The guilds bid on the traders that they want, so the traders that make the most money get the best spots. Generally, that's how it should work, and that's how it does work. But it's become ridiculous. I think it's easing off a little bit. We're getting to the point where there are enough spots around the world, but for years and years the prizes were just going crazy, and it was becoming impossible to sustain. There we go. I find that my mail, it takes a long time to load these days.
Something I can do for you?
Erin Unluck, welcome back. Welcome back from the slumber. How's it going? It's tea with spices added. Lovely, yeah, yeah. Belorda, use all of them but licorice. Never tried that. Licorice is the bomb. I would say that, though. I'm Danish. Danes love licorice. Lily tried. Gonna take a nap. See you guys later. Have a lovely, lovely sleep. Sweet dreams. A little bit jealous. You got mail, Khan. Oh, what? I already bought them, though, dude. Already bought everything. So I might just have to bounce that back to you. And now it looks like I've got it all. Shoulders, legs, shoes, sash. So I only needed 2. That's not too bad. I've seen some people rocking it. It is pretty fun. What do you guys actually think of it this time? I thought this one was pretty good. It's not amazing, but I've seen a lot worse. The shoulders are really silly. I dig it. It's very chunky in the chest. Can't really use it on female characters unless they're super skinny. It's a little bit annoying. But whatever. Thank you, Dark Metal. I'm rocking the chest and breeches. Kind of dislike the side pieces on the hips. Makes my character too thick, yeah. Dark Metal, thick. Them thick hips, though. Yeah, adds a little sweetness, so no need for sugar. I use Jaggery for sweetness if I don't want to use sugar. Sugar in tea. Is that a thing we're supposed to do? I've never put sugar in my tea. I always thought it was a thing that the Brits did because they drink awful, awful tea most of the time. It's a little bit like, you know, the whole lime juice and salt on the hand, you know, for a tequila slammer. You do that because the tequila you're having is like low grade, which I'm fine with. It's cheaper that way. But if you have nice tequila, which I also love, when I was doing my master's degree, I worked at a wine merchant, and it was owned by a couple, and I learned so much at the knee of the lady who ran the place. Not literally at her knee. That would be weird. But she was fucking great. She knew so much about so much, like Italian wine, like really impenetrable booze culture stuff. It was freaking great. And she was a real tequila head, like a real tequila expert. And because I was a student, I actually had no idea. I knew that, you know, whiskey could be cheap and rubbish, or, you know, very, very expensive and very, very nice. But I didn't realize that tequila was the same. It just hadn't occurred to me, because the only stuff I'd ever been exposed to in Denmark and in England was the really rubbish stuff. So that was fun. And ever since then, I've been a massive tequila fan. But yeah, sugar and tea, is that... I always assumed that was the same kind of deal. Or is that a normal thing, even with really nice tea? Put a little honey in my tea. But I drink fruit tea. Ooh, sounds good. I find fruit tea is awesome, sure. And I do a lot of... I've always done a lot of singing. These days I do a lot of voiceovers and a lot of this yabbity yabbity yap on stream, right? So yeah, maintaining good, a nice warm, lubricated throat is important. However, I always thought, ever since I was a kid, and my mum would have fruit tea, you walk into the living room or kitchen or wherever they are with this thing and think, oh, that smells amazing. Is there enough for me to have a cup? And then you try it and it's nice, but it's always so disappointing relative to the aroma, you know what I mean? But yeah, most of the time, Belorda, I don't add any kind of sugar in my tea because of my stomach. I thought you could say, because I'm sweet enough. That would have been corny. But probably true. Alright, so... any combat Q&A, any questions that you guys have, anything that you would like to get some help with or some guidance on, anything at all, please feel free to ask. Obviously in-game stuff for the most part. And let's do some dungeonage. Is Ahel still here? Which is at 40% at Solstice. Nice. Beautiful. I can go and do a couple more dailies then with this character while we are debating what dungeons we should do. But yeah, what this is the other day I did, in honor of Halloween, we did a couple of dungeons with a big horror aesthetic, big horror story and themes going on in there. And I just soloed them on normal, you know, just so we could focus on story. But it was really good fun. And yeah, you guys seem to like it, so I thought we could do some of the same thing. Are there any dungeons in particular? And I don't have to solo them. If you guys want, we can also do a Monster Helm run, if there's anything that people are missing. Whatever. I'm down. Seafood Storm, reinstalling game. Got some launcher issue. Yikes. I'm sorry to hear that. That is technical issues. I mean, it's unlikely that I'll be able to fix it for you, but I'm happy to try if anyone's got anything like that as well. But yeah, good luck with that. Alright, let's go and do a siege camp. And again, we'll test out the heavy attack thing. Again. So this is, if you weren't here when I described it earlier, if you don't need to use a heavy attack build for this, obviously. That you'll do much more damage if you don't. Especially cleave damage. But if you just throw in a couple of heavy attacks, even with a melee weapon, doesn't matter. Although it's obviously easier with a ranged weapon, you can connect more easily. It seems like you get a lot more souls. Vitrified souls dropping. Yeah, there's one. See, normally I'm not able to loot any of these. despite doing 10 times the damage that I'm doing here. It's weird. Again, that's 5 out of 15. It's so weird, isn't it? And now that I've stopped heavy attacking, none of these are lootable for me. So weird. I didn't even hit any of those 3. They were all lootable. We go 14 out of 15. Just a 1 Reaper. That's wild, isn't it? We could almost do what Lily Dryad was saying. Turn in the quest, then come back and loot the remaining bodies. Get another 15. Boom. Yeah, Sifu Storm, all good. Awesome. A lot of my brain today. Forgot to get the milk. I'm gonna go get some more milk. That was a Leon reference. I'm sure nobody got because the impression was terrible. Erin, sugar and milk in tea is quite popular in North India, not in the northeast or the south. I use a tiny bit to mild the spice. I guess it depends which tea we're talking, doesn't it? But I don't really have an opinion on it. I just... Oh, my scholarship ran out. I just never put sugar in anything, really. And it was actually... I love my espresso, like a big fat double espresso. It's totally my jam. Definitely the way I like to roll. But I never put sugar in that. And I only found out... I'm just standing in the stupid. I only found out recently, like a couple of years ago, I think, that Italians... the birthplace of espresso. Apparently the correct way to enjoy that is to put a little bit of sugar in there. Just a little bit. Stir it in. Don't let your major resolve run out and don't stand in the poopy. As ably demonstrated. Alright, likes to play catch. Okay, Khan, if you're streaming tomorrow, what time will it be? As I've got a surprise 70th birthday party for my father-in-law. Needs to be on the road by like 5 PM. It'll be usual time, so morning will probably be done by 5, I would imagine. The chai tea, yeah. But yeah, thanks for checking, Let's Play Catch. No worries at all. That sounds fun. Do you know what kind of party it's going to be? But in Northern Germany, they will add cream and rock sugar into their black tea. Chinchilla, milk, and Earl Grey. The Earl Grey works with or without, actually, doesn't it? I'll give you that. Tea. Earl Grey. Hot. Hey. Voidic Gaming. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a good Friday.
I trust your efforts.
Hope you're all having an excellent, excellent Friday. So no one's up for dungeons. Ahel's gone, I guess. I wonder what dungeon we should do. I'll probably do something stupid and pick one that you can't solo. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of a dungeon with a really cool story. But Lord, I only like lemon in Earl Grey. When I have Darjeeling, I'll take milk. So I just have everything black.
Over here, mercenary.
Almost without fail. I was in Darjeeling 2 weeks ago. Fun. Yeah, I've never been. I've always hoped my dad would take me to India. My dad was actually born in India. Even though he's not Indian. He's Scottish, if anything. But yeah, his dad was stationed there. and he's got a lot of very fond memories and stories and affinity with the place. Always hoped we would arrange a trip together. It's never happened. Oh, there we go. There was one more wave. I was wondering why I couldn't kill it. What a coincidence. My dad was also born in India. Can't we have so much in common? It'd be cooler if your dad was born in Denmark or something like that. Or in Scotland. Just for the comparison, I mean. So now I'm getting vitrified souls as well. Did I heavy attack? Or is it just because there's no one here? There are like 4 players here. So heavy attacking isn't the only thing. I need to go back and watch some of my PTS videos now. Like, I recorded so much stuff on PTS. When I was soloing these, was I getting all the drops? Or was the drop rate also kind of terrible? I seem to remember it being quite bad. Right, we'll open with a heavy attack, see what happens. Why? Why with the companion taunts? Please, people, don't bring your companions to these. Or turn off the taunts. It's so annoying. My ex was from Andhra Pradesh. Nice. Yeah, never been to India at all. Chinchilla, you're going to play Enshrouded again with Eggbirds and Maya when the new update comes out? Did I not mention this to you the other day? I'm sorry, I thought I did. Maybe I mentioned it to someone else, Chinchilla. We have got an Enshrouded event coming on Monday. It's not quite like Tenfest or Writhing Raid Train level, but yeah, we've got a big thing. Maya's got in touch with Keen Games. They've given us a bunch of keys to give away. There's loads of stuff happening. I've been working my ass off designing all the assets for it. I was doing it today. We've got like a custom thing, you know, when I do this on stream and you get like a little interstitial, a little stinger transition, and then that interstitial screen. I've been making those for... Here it comes again. Been making those for Enshrouded. We're calling it the pool party because this is a big update that adds water. Dynamic water to the overworld. If you don't know the game Enshrouded, I'm not going to explain it in detail, but you know, look it up. It's a very, very cool live service fantasy game. It's not like Elder Scrolls Online, but I think a lot of the players who would like the one would also love the other. Ooh, nice. Yeah, right? So, yeah, Maya's been on the case for that. It's taken quite a lot of work, and yeah, she's got in... It all happened because we streamed Enshrouded as part of our Games Fest. Maya and Eggbirds were there, as you remember, Chinchilla, and I don't know if you also remember, like 3, 4, 5 people bought the game during the stream. People were like, what the fuck? How have I never heard of this? This is amazing. And they literally just went to buy it that second. We didn't have keys to give out or anything. We were just playing it because we wanted to highlight the game. This is a cool one. And, yeah, loads of people hadn't even heard of it. And then Zdenya, who bought the game, went on to get like 3 of his colleagues and his brother-in-law and a couple of friends to also buy it so they could play together. That's crazy. So Maya got in touch with Keen Games and said, like, holy shit, based on one stream, so many people loved the look of this game. This is great to showcase. Is there something we could do for you guys for your next update? You know, we're not being paid. They've got nothing to offer us. They just agree, yeah, sure, we can give you a few keys and whatnot. So it's a much smaller event. It's like a big raid train or anything. But yeah, Monday there's a big update, and we're all going to try and get in there. We've got a bunch of ESO streamers interested as well who are going to hop on. So we're just going to try and fill up that category on Twitch. Should be really fun. Just tuned in, so you might have mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it when somebody asked, just as you did a few days back. I think it was on Tuesday, but it may not have been you, Chinchilla. It may have been someone completely different. And I'm just, yeah, just mixing it up. Likes to play catch. My wife is traveling over later today, spending the evening with our 2 little ones and our son with autism to stay with her brother so they can decorate the hall, do food tomorrow afternoon, then I'm driving her with the rest. That sounds amazing. No companions. Why, Tiago? You could do companions, but don't let them taunt the boss. It's actually really annoying. I'm laughing about it because it's not a big deal. But it's a little bit like when people used to block crafting stations with their Sork pets. It was like every time. Say this is the campfire in the middle of the siege camp. The main boss spawns in, big boy right here. Everyone drops their ults right on top of it, and then he starts stomping off because there's some idiot companion over here taunting it. Why is prevent attacking innocents not on this character? I keep getting into shit attacking people. Oh shit. I killed one. Whoa, nice chainage. Because he's not innocent. Maybe he wasn't. Oh, that's it, isn't it? He was from Hyderabad. Nice. I know where that is. Yeah, Chinchilla. Depends. Oh, well, first, likes to play catch thing. Enshrouded is pretty decent. I just feel I would enjoy it so much more with a dedicated team of friends. Yes, it is perfectly possible to play it on your own, but yeah, there is an element of that. Chinchilla saying depends if you're on the same page on what your goal is in the game and what you want to build together. Then yeah, it's fun to play. But if everyone wants to play it a different way and build different things, it's gonna be quite annoying. I'm sure that's true. So for those who don't know, it's a persistent world, so you have your own adventure, your own server. If I dig through this rock and use the materials to build a house over there, that house is permanently there for everyone. And there aren't like building zones. You can dig through the entire world. You can eat away at an entire mountain until it is gone. And you can rebuild. We showcased some of this stuff as well. The stuff that you can build is unfreaking believable. People have made Minas Tirith, Barad-dûr, the Eiffel Tower. God knows, you name it. People have done it. If I think the creativity and the ESO housing community is insane, which it is. This is even more freeform. So it's completely bananas. All right, what am I looking for? Counterfeit pardon edicts. Leniency edict should be enough. What have we got? Like 2k? 1.3. There it is. Aaron, there's a big chance that... Big chance? They learned making Hyderabadi biryani, which is great. Hope it's not Ambur biryani, another one from Andhra, which is absolute average. Ah, Chief Angel, thank you for the hydrate. Don't mind if I do. Dark Metal, my companion only heals. Nice. Schnacks, I was in the kitchen rolling up salmon roll-ups, but I'm down to run some dungeons. Hey, awesome, let's go. Anyone else want to do anything? We could do story mode. We can get you a monster mask that you need. We could just help you check out a dungeon you haven't done before, maybe. Or Schnacks and I can just two-man a bunch of stuff and comment on it as we go. Oh, let me relog to a tank. Bit like Minecraft. Yeah, but like way higher fidelity. Like it's got gorgeous fantasy surroundings. But yeah, in that way it is a lot like Minecraft. It's sort of voxel-based construction. He is the spy, Aaron. Yeah, you've got enshrouded. Yeah, man. Alright, what was I doing? Gameplay. Prevent attacking innocents? Where are you? Let's do it. No, somebody killed Jisharul. I don't think I could bring myself to do that. She's so majestic. And now she's back in a different outfit? Whoa. What's up with that? Look, here she's just wearing Mage's Guild robes. And here she's in Fellowship armor. That's fun. Likes to play catch. I wouldn't end up doing anything but building if I was to play it. Just like a massive castle or city of some sort. I wonder who... That was not me. I did not kill that one. I killed someone over here. But yeah, Schnax, did you want to bring a tank or a DPS? That'd be fun. Or should we just bring 2 DDs and do something really easy? That's what all the culprits say. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Well, how do I escape then, Dark Manor? Do I admit that I did do it? This is a paradox. Let me do a Quartermaster Nawalne quest and then see what Schnax is up for. I can wait for you to finish your salmon rolls as well, man. Hey, Ahld, you're finally back. You're finally awake. I'm really falling in love with the group find for VLC. I only need 1 piece to get full body. You only need $100 to get full body. Ahld, you want to do some dungeons? Any roll unless we're doing trifectas. Well, if Ahld's coming, you might want a tank. You need 1 piece. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Good luck. Right, which one did I get? Packed Elder Tallow. That's the troll one, isn't it? Although, as Belord is saying, this area down here was a little bit more useful. I just refused to kill the Guar, so that's not going to happen. But as far as we could tell, all of these enemies dropped it, didn't they? Anything inside the area? I'm not sure. Well, there's 4. Six. Let's go. And done. So what's going on? Missed a bit while tanking. Yeah, we were just wondering if you were up for a dungeon. Ahld. Ah, yes. Elder Tallow, ripe to perfection. Gross. Wolf's White Rose, welcome on in. Happy Friday. How you doing? Welcome in, everyone. This is Khan. You're watching Ninja Pulls. Hope you're having a good week. We're about to do some dungeonage, just chill dungeons. We don't really know what we're up to, but I think a little bit of story and chat about the story might be fun. I'll tell you what, since we were just talking about Earthenroot Enclave, maybe we should try that. Ahld, UK bringing a DPS so I can tank, or would you rather stay on Tickety Tonk? And are there any dungeons you would like to catch up with that you haven't done yet? Maybe not the brand new ones. Can't right now, he's in group. Alright, well let's just go me and Schnax. And if anyone else wants to join, I will relog to tank. Yeah, thanks Schnax. I'm on a DD now. I can relog if we find 2 more. But yeah, thanks Ahld for keeping me updated. Thank you for the hydrate, Caesar Baroni. Very kind. Ugh, big old drink of water right here. It's getting empty. I'm gonna have to go and fill it up again. I've got a big pint glass. It's a glass of manufactured by Pilsner Urquell from the Czech Republic. Right, well my dog is starting to look at me. Meaningfully as well. Do you want lunch? Do you want lunchies? Oh my god, her face. She knows that word. The eyes and the ears just perking up like, yes! And now the tail is going so hard. There's like a breeze in here. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to go and feed the little one. I can't have her looking at me like that. Nuh-uh. Alright, I'll be back in like 1 minute. Woof. Yeah, exactly. She's fairly chilled. She only makes noise when she's dreaming. And then she makes those little... those kind of noises. Even though she's a big old Labrador. Aren't you? Good girl. Alright. You guys be good. And I'll be back in... Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. Sit tight. I have returned. What did I miss? Belorda, the spices in the tea are calming my stomach. Finally some relief. Ate too much stuff with sugar in it. Nice. The relief, that is. You get a double invite, Schnacks. How are you not on my friends list already? That's crazy. Hey, Shy45 drops. You don't need to type anything. They should just happen automatically. I'm just going to pause and get some ults. I don't think we can get started. Schnacks, is there any particular dungeon you haven't finished collecting for? I'd rather avoid the 2 new ones if I can. I want to do that with Maya. If that's okay. Hey! Amy Finesso.
Hello there.
I'm sure that's not it. Amy Fin ESO, welcome on in. How's it going? Ahoy! Nazdar. Second effect, no more freezing. The tea is magic. Nice, Belorda. Alright. So, Schnacks, don't be shy. Like, let me know if there's any dungeon, or even an arena, or whatever, where you haven't got your sticker book completely finished. We were talking about the 4 High Isle dungeons, the Legacy of the Bretons dungeons. But that's just... I'm only mentioning that because I don't know really where else to start. A 2-man Coral Eyrie does sound like a bit too much work. Maybe. I had saying, by the way, Khan, if I manage to get my hands on that last VLC piece, you bet I'm trying out for Splint Group. Trying out? Are you just able to join? I learned yesterday evening I'm gonna need a new tank in that group. Yeah, awesome. And if it takes you, like, we could just do a run in VLC just as a warm-up 1 week to get you the last piece, and hopefully it would happen. Shucks, there are a few weapons missing here and there, nothing important. There's some quests I could do with on this guy, Exiled Redoubt, Oathsworn Pit. Should we do a 2-man Oathsworn Pit? Obviously no hard mode. I'd rather have at least 3 for the hard mode, but yeah, let's... That sounds like fun. That's here, isn't it? Oh no, that's Bedlam Vale. Oathsworn is... There. Set to normal. We can always go back to normal if it's going really badly. This is quite a recent dungeon, so it's not that easy. So 2-manning it might be a little bit of a stretch. I think we should be okay though. Shnax is pretty badass. But yeah, Als, if you're up for it, you're in. No questions. Lord, I sent Al a screenshot of the search right after you posted it this morning. Likes to play catch. I want to join Splint as a DD. You need to get my CP up first. Do it. Hey, it's Zim the Bard. Greetings, everyone. Hello, Sir Zim. How's it going? Everybody give it up for Zim the Bard. We still await your glorified return to Twitch. Chucking the 2-handed axe. I love it.
It's the recollection. They invaded and took the lodges. I only got out because Black Glove Garm distracted them.
I'm definitely... Oh no, I'm out of potions. Shit. Alright, I'll be right back. Gotta make some potions. How's it going, Zim? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you've had a good week, in fact. Oh, Erin gifting a tier 1 sub to Zim the Cookie. Erin, thank you so much. That is 4 out of 10. Wow. Four out of 10 for the day. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. That is the lifeblood that keeps the Ninja Pulse juices flowing, so to speak. Zim, hello. It's been raining and gross out here in my homeland. Dragons, though? In your own homeland? Hopefully not. Nah.
In your own homeland.
What are the chances?
This one does not know, but he hopes his family is...
What are the chances, guys? Alright. That's not my account, I swear. That's crazy. 2 coincidences back to back like that. I think we need more subs to make more of them happen. Let's go, let's go. Alright, Buglos, Columbine, Dragon, Thorn. No? Buglos, Columbine, Dragon, Thorn, yeah. How funny was that, though? Zim shows up and Erin immediately gifts a sub to somebody else called Zim the Cookie. We'd make the joke about dragons in your own homeland, and then the NPC says it right next to me. Where food? Seriously, I don't have food either? What the bloody... What in the blue blazes is going on here? Sorry, Schnax. Porting in now. By the way, me gifting that sub was no accident. I thought it might not be. I thought it might not be. Still fun. We're in the Matrix. Deja vu. Yeah, my Nightblade suddenly wakes up in the morning and goes, I know Herald of the Tome. Little subclassing reference for you guys. Right, have I got my trash set up on? Alright, let's see how this goes. Nice damage. Single damage. A single DD, rather. I really, really miss... What is that bear doing, even? I really miss the noise that came with, what's it called? Speaking of which, Shnax, I should probably mention. Running Lucent Echoes, Drake's Rush, and Tremor Scale. If you want me to change something, this is probably my main tank, so she should have stuff. If you're like way over crit or under pen or something.
You think you can defeat us?
Big bear. I'll stack him where the bear is now. Drake's Rush used to make such a glorious noise. And now it's just silent. Can that be deliberate? I really miss it. A really satisfying doom of Drake's Rush being propped. I'm really missing the Drake's Rush sound. It was my favorite, yeah. I guess we skipped the side bosses. Oh, that first one would be a pain with just 1 DPS. This is probably not the way to do it if you want a 2-man some of these dungeons. You'd probably be better off bringing 2 DDs, one of which has a certain level of tankiness. I think I know what happened to it. AF2RM, yeah, do tell us. I definitely miss it. Alright, so I'm guessing Shnax is going to be Wolf on you every time. I'll do my best to retaunt it afterwards. Let's try and get the wolf down first, I guess. And I'll try and keep them apart so they're not enrage. Need to separate them a little bit. There we go. Got the doggo. You want to make sure they're not too close together when that mechanic happens. Yeah, unfortunately I forgot to switch setups. That's a bit dumb. Oh no. Oh shit. So AF2RM is saying when they changed pearls to heroism, they would make the wong sound on every proc. I'm gonna come with you, give some healing. There we go. And on every proc, yeah, so it's got a little bit annoying and cluttered audio. So you think they removed, instead of fixing it, they just removed the sound from the game. Honestly, I didn't even realize it was major heroism always. That was actually not too bad, was it? Oh shit, we still need to kill the doc. No! Over here, you big floof. That's interesting, F2RM. Thanks for that. Yeah, so instead of fixing it, they just removed that sound from the game. That could be it. Dark Metal, do you guys need an extra DD? Well, clearly not, but yeah, you're welcome to join. Anyone's welcome to join. If you haven't got a veteran clear in here... Sustain was a bit rough, yeah, I'm sure it was. Sorry, man.
That sounds like you're not coming with us. Good. You need to recover.
Erin, okay, done with my work day. It's my last day of vacation. Heading outside. See you all later. Have a fantastic day, Erin. Lovely, lovely weekend. Thank you so much for the subs. Always appreciated. You're genius. Belorda. There was also Trample before the change, and Drake still had the sound. Yeah, so I wasn't sure, but also I thought it was a different sound to Pearls, but yeah, Dark Metal, plus me up. Are we not... Wait, are we not friends either? What the hell? I'm getting exposed here. Remove from guild. There we go. Rigor Mortis, hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Blame the 100 player limit? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Hey, Hessidai, went here for the first time the other day. All by my lonesome, as I tend to do in the first boss. I've been screaming, please don't hit me with those lasers. Must be very hard to avoid the in-rage if you're just by yourself. And after all, Trouble never made that boing sound. Yeah, was it exactly the same noise? So we can do that fun thing where we kick these guys off.
Don't we have asses?
I'll take the two on the left, and you just take one of the right ones. Oh fuck! Didn't work. That was a great coincidence. Welcome, Zim the Cookie. Fine, thanks, Rigor Mortis, and yourself. Yeah, I'm going pretty good, thank you. It's gonna take me a minute to get this stack made. That is good enough. Step into my office. Removed from guild, yeah, exactly. I'm just kidding. And thank you for the follows in the cookie. It was a great coincidence, yeah. Didn't know that was a thing. Zim the Cookie, don't welcome me, I don't care at all about this. I just received a sub from this random channel and was checking what that was. Bye. Have a nice day. Nice. Well, have a lovely weekend, wherever you are in the world. Okay, is there anyone else who wanted to join? Like, we're perfectly capable of just 3-manning this. I'm sure we would have got through it 2-man. So you could literally join and just, like, walk through behind us and not do anything. If for some reason you don't have a veteran clear in here, fuck it, why not? That was a juicy stack. Oh yeah. Floimker, what is a good subclass for Warden Healer? Okay, sorry folks. So you stick with Green Balance, keep that. And you don't have to have it, but it is very, very nice to have siphoning from the Nightblade. But like I said, you do not have to have it. It's just got really good passives. And there are a couple of nice abilities you can use. Siphoning Strikes, for example. Yeah, there are quite a few tools in there. So those two, and then plus whatever your group needs. Now, I know that sounds like a cop-out. It might be that your group is struggling to stay alive. You might feel like you need some group shielding, in which case Chakram shields, Vitalizing Glyphic. There's a lot, Arcanist Domain. There's a lot of lovely stuff in curative rune forms from the Arcanists. There's some pretty decent stuff in Living Death as well. But more likely, or Templar as well, Restoring Light. Could go with that. But more likely, you'll end up using Daedric Summoning, not for any of the passives or any of the abilities, just for the charged Atro. Because you drop that like I'm doing here. You may have seen me casting that as to give these guys Major Berserk. It's a DPS ult, so obviously not really for tanking. Same with heals. So yeah, you could take the Daedric Summoning as your third one. You could also take Gravelord as your third one. Again, for the Colossus. And it's a damage ult, but it's got that major vulnerability and a massive AoE. That could be pretty handy. Green Balance, Siphoning, plus either Daedric Summoning, Gravelord, Restoring Light. Wow, that's literally what I said. Wow. Balorda? I'm doing that thing with my fingers between your head and mine. We're just like this. Gravelord also good for EC Healer if you're into that. Yeah, EC Healer is pretty niche, but yeah, like, absolutely, if that's your role. Sorry for the movements. Come on. Yeah, some of these stacks are a bit of a pain. Geez, complicated stuff. You just played years ago, so just coming back now. Yeah, don't worry too much about it. Oh, shit. Sorry I missed one, guys. Feels bad. Feels bad, man. Dark Man, I'll use Warden with Templar and Siphoning. Sounds good. And, yeah, it is complicated stuff. Back then I played Nightblade Healer. Nightblade Healer was really good. Again, it wasn't really because Nightblade Healers were that much better than anything else. It was because, A, they brought stuff that nobody else could bring. And the other options were generally taken care of. Alright, let me switch to a more single-targety. So if you guys are able to stay close... I've got Warding Contingency on. What's the other... It's got Minor Intellect and Endurance on it. So if you're able to stay close, I'll try and keep popping that. We're going to have to do mechanics, though. We're going to have to focus the boss, aren't we? And Felmir, I mean, not the construct. And Balorda Siphoning is just so nice. The ult gain, 22 ult for a potion. Most will wear infused jewelry with 3 potion cooldown glyphs. Yeah, it's pretty common now. Sugar pot or chug every 20 seconds. 66 ult a minute. Yeah, for trials it can be very handy. In dungeons also. But, alright. Yeah, now she dies. I'll do my best to point these away from you guys every time. Oh, that was fucking easy. What the hell? What the hell? I don't know why I'm so surprised. It's not hard mode and we got 2 DDs, so... I don't know, I expected it to last like another minute. I haven't been here in a while. I don't think I'm not sure I've ever
Remove your grubby
done it, except on hard mode.
Tear their limbs off.
Nice.
Thieves as well as cheats.
Does nobody want the clear in here? There must be someone out there on PCEU who might not have the vet clear. It's not the easiest dungeon to pug. When this was new, thieves as well as cheats or whatever. My buddy Daniel would always say cheese as well as cheese. Because that's kind of what it sounds like. That's what the French put on their breakfast toast. Cheese as well as cheese. I approve. Oh, let me change setups. That, my friend, is a stackety stack. It's dumb to throw my my ult just before they die, but what the hell? This is not an optimal group by any means. Yeah, Boaster, the Bwong. Oh, one is loose. Sorry about that. Nobody died to the butterflies. Yeah, bloody, I once did a rage quit here because the tank wouldn't speak up. That he didn't know the dungeon. Oh, that's, yeah. That's tough. Both for the guy and for you, but... well, assuming it's a guy, why would I assume that? A woman would ask for directions, am I right? What is it with men and asking for directions? Alright, I'll try and stack everything on the Iron Atro. Actually quite easy to die here if you're not careful. An der nächsten Ampel rechts abbiegen. My German is not quite good enough to know what that means. I always need a few seconds to figure these things out. So many years since I studied German properly. I gotta go visit my sister more often. She's in Berlin these days, and she lived in Halle for a long time, which I gather is not the nicest or most glamorous of German cities, but these days she's in Berlin, which is much cooler. She loves it there. I'm sure my German would improve within like a day. You know? That's how these things work, right? Hey, Amy Phineas, so thank you very much for the hydrates. Ah, thank you very much. Loved it. Crazy. Take a right turn at the next traffic lights. Yeah. Ampel. I didn't know that. There we go.
Hello there.
Hello there. Come here, my little friend. How's it going, Peter? How you doing? Happy Saturday. Friday. Wishing the week away. Av2RM, very few base classes matter anymore. Necro might be the only one, in fact. I'm sorry, I totally missed that. Plonky, is there still a way to level ults fast? Yeah, so don't worry too much. Just as Af2RM is saying, you don't have to worry. Is that just affirm? Is that what I should be saying? I wasn't sure, but let me know. But yeah, they're absolutely right. You don't need to worry so much about class anymore. For example, I could run this exact setup on a Dragon Knight, or a Warden, or a Sorcerer. Like, and if I wasn't any of those, like a Nightblade would still be fine. I could just run Siphoning instead of one of the others. Still pretty good on tanks for the same reason. You know, fast ult gen on a tank is amazing. They added a new CP in the green tree, so your skill lines will level a bit faster. Yeah, absolutely, that's a very good point. That's up here. Where is it? Discipline Artisan. There we go. So make sure that is slotted. It's not slotted, sorry, it's not slottable, but yeah, this one down here on the right. Bottom right. And yeah, the way I would do it, or the way that I did do it, is doing my daily crafting writs. You will gradually accumulate a bunch of these. And each time you open them, you get a master blacksmithing or alchemy writ or whatever, and then you can get an add-on like Dolgamon's Lazy Writ Crafter, and then you can go up to, let's imagine Schnax is the NPC that you deliver writs to. Then you just slot the skills from each skill line that you're leveling on your main character and just spam deliver like 50 lots of writs. You can do a skill line in a minute or something like that. And you can even level multiple morphs if you need to. So kind of crazy. So basically you need only one character. Yeah, I mean you could use more than one, but it is possible to do almost everything on just one character. Even like healer, tank, DPS, PvP, all the different class combos. Unless you are on, let's say, something which is a little bit out in the cold at the moment. Let's do a ready check. I will, I'll try to keep the fire on this side of the room. Honestly, I don't remember how this is going to go on plain vet. Hey, thank you for the follow, Floimke. I got the res. Should have time.
Be shackled by the fires of your precious forge.
I'm gonna break the chain, be careful. It's so mean. Oh, hurry up. Do your mechanic, get it over with, mate. Yeah, this is a knockdown, isn't it? Ah, I'm gonna struggle to get these in time. Yeah, we're just gonna have to try that again. Sorry, folks. It was my bad that you died there, Schnax. Duckman, I tried to make sure you had Major Resolve as soon as you got up. I may have gone a tad early, though. Apologies if that's the case. Floimka, thank you much. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. That's very kind. Very much appreciated. Yeah, but a lot of this, and you can't add two of another class. Yeah, so there are a few minor limitations. So I wouldn't say it's pointless having more than one character. I still have 20. I still use a lot of them. But yeah, there's less need than there used to be. You know? And Ballora saying, I don't know how long ago you stopped playing, but there's also the armory station. Yep, so you can save like a Magicka healer or DPS type, and then you can have a tank or a stamina or a PvP or a vampire or whatever, and you can just, it will switch almost everything in your build, and you can just save it there. You pick up the station for free in the Crown Store. Yeah, thank you, Ballora, that's great. It is, if you just type in armory, and it's in furniture, armory station, that is free, so that one can go in your home. There's also an assistant, which looks like this. That one you have to pay for,
I've been at this.
but he will allow you to change builds or loadouts anywhere. Alright, let's try this again.
The recollection will not fall to the likes of you. The lair of ash.
Fun. Man, the damage is sick.
I will wipe away your defiance.
He's at 50. Alright, let's ult on this dude.
The old sworn, burn, and so will.
Look at that. Completely different.
Dulcish isn't as strong as she once was. I'll guard her, you deal with the elf.
Now we need to go through to the other rooms, don't we? Yeah. I'm gonna ult. I'm just spamming the warding contingency. It's so nice. Okay, I'll turn him towards the entrance. Turning him towards the room we were just in. I'm hoping I'm doing these callouts just early enough for you guys to hear it on stream. It's probably a little bit too late. I'm trying to make them super early. Anyway, that was pretty easy. That was reassuring, wasn't it? Anyone else want to join?
But this adventurer doled out the pit's revenge.
And, yeah, let's just trade. Or was it? No, it was quest, wasn't it? Not gear and whatever, but I have everything from here, so I guess I'll just trade with whoever needs it.
Trying to help the initiates.
We saw some recollection in the vault. One of them must have gotten away with it.
Oh, dung.
I know you'd probably have all of that, but what the hell?
For now, I'm just grateful that those wood elves are gone.
I'll just see. Duckman, I'll just reject the trade if you have everything or if you don't want it. I could also throw that in. If you need any of it, then just accept. If you don't need any of it, just ditch it. Just take all of it. Done. Nice. Cool. Well, thanks, folks. That's a fun one. I really like this one as a... It does a little bit of world building as well for the orcs. In a really fun way. Like, Orsinium obviously did way, way more. But for dungeons don't typically do a lot of world building. This one does more than most, I think. You know, that this is like a combat academy for orcs. Learning the 3 different ways of combat. Yeah, Darkman, I'm gonna help my little bro. Be right back in a few minutes. No worries. Any requests, guys, for dungeons? Whether you want to join us or not. Happy to do whatever. Happy to do a story run. Happy to go and get gear for someone who needs it. It's a public service here. So speak up. But Lord will log on as healer if no one else wants to join? Cool. Where can we go that's going to get you a lot of XP? How close are you? So we've got about 45 minutes left of the stream today. It's been awesome so far. Thank you very much. 5 out of 10 subs. Close to 3599. It's exciting. Oaken Shelf fishing run updates. Peter, thank you very much. Seriously though, guys, I do not mind. I know it's not the right word to use probably, but even if you feel like it's a bit of a carry, we don't care. Like, we just did a 3-man clear in that dungeon. So if anyone else did want to join, just to get, I don't know, if there's a monster mask that you could use, or just a veteran clear that you don't have, feel the fuck free, as my friends always say. And Shustrikas, it feels like you unlocked everything in the game. How long have you been playing this game for? Well, I've played it since beta, but really since about 2019. I was just bimbling in Overworld, but I do not grind for anything. And I certainly haven't unlocked everything. There are a bunch of trial trifectas I don't have. I've never been Emp. I don't even think I have I keep bringing different characters to Cyrodiil, so none of them are above, like, rank 30 in Alliance War. I think I've got, like, 3 in the high 20s, but none of them are over rank 30, which is pretty funny. Balorda has joined the group. Execute Balorda 66. That's how it goes. But how's it going, Shustrikas? I hope I'm pronouncing that more or less correctly. Likes to play catch. Think I'm going to do Southern Elsewhere tonight, so I can unlock the other parts of my Khajiit temple. Oh, fun. That is pretty cool. I'll tell you what is, I really enjoyed the Kappa quest. Not Kappa as in K-A-P-P-A, but as in the quest that caps off the story. I think it's here, right? No, that's it. Tideholm. I think it takes place on Tideholm. I could be wrong. But whatever it is. When you've done both Northern and Southern Elsewhere, you get to do that little final finale quest. Which they kind of spoiled in one of the cinematics. They released this cinematic at the end of that year. And it ends with, I think, Lyris looking over the mountains of Skyrim. And that's how everyone was like, holy shit, we're going to Skyrim next year. And that was how they teased Greymoor. They used to do this. But, yeah, loads of people hadn't finished the Southern Elsewhere story yet, so they watched this cinematic trailer. I'm like, what? This happens? Oh my god, I didn't know that. So yeah, beware. Steer clear of any Elsewhere-themed cinematics. You haven't finished it yet. But Lord, a quick reload you want, so I'll share my alt. Nice. Likes to play catch. Night all to myself, but so much to do in game. I'm so behind on story. I feel you, man. I still haven't finished Clockwork City. I'm so invested in it as well. I love the zone. All of that stuff. Wait, what extra quests? When you've done Northern and Southern Elsewhere, there is a final quest you can only do but after both are finished. And it's like the final confrontation. It's very cool. I really remember it. Yeah, I'm really sad. No, but Lord's saying, in response to Moose, but are you definitely getting those extra pages in blue boxes? I must have opened like 30 a day and getting at any extras. I'm not sure I've had any. Maybe one? But yeah, I'm with you, Moose. I've opened a lot of them. Yes, and I'm really sad that you aren't getting them. Aw, thanks, Balorda. Ink True, finished on one character? I've finished all the stories on any character. Never finished Clockwork City. Well, since we were talking about Earthenroot Enclave, I feel like maybe we should go there. Hey, there she is. I see this character a lot. I guess this is the main. But look at that CP, guys. 3598. So close. But yeah, I love the story. I'm not one of those trial guys who just doesn't really dig the story. I remember Skinny Cheeks, like, he loves the game, obviously, but he and Maya did a stream together once when he was saying to her, I don't really pay that much attention to the stories. Like, I know they're pretty good, but it's not really what gets my blood flowing in ESO. And she was telling him some of the lore, and he was like, maybe I should start paying a little more attention. I'm not like that. I pay a lot of attention. I do story runs in all the dungeons and trials that I can, but I just don't seem to be able to find the time to just go through these stories sort of slowly but surely by myself the way I would like to. Any requests for dungeons, guys? Any requests at all? Like Split Catch, where do I get that quest? I think it should appear automatically once you've finished both of them. I mean, those two quests were not the last one. Sorry, Inktrue. No. That's per character. So the same character has to have done both Northern and Southern. They may have changed it. I could be wrong about this. But certainly when it came out, obviously most people did Northern Elsewhere first, because that arrived first. 6 months later, we got Southern Elsewhere. And so most people would get it that when they finished Southern Elsewhere, an NPC would then appear and ask them, go here and do this, you are summoned, yada yada yada. It happens very much as it always does. You know, you'll see one of these quest markers suddenly appear where you are. But it also works the other way around. If for some reason you do Southern Elsewhere first, it doesn't break, it still works. Hey, King Greed, welcome on in. And Chuck Dragon, love your YouTube content, sir. Keep going. I will do my very best. Thank you so much for the encouragement. And Fergalicious, so delicious. Would I like this game if I don't have the combat of Oblivion and Skyrim? I'm looking for another game to replace New World. Also playing WoW. Well, if you love WoW's combat, and if you think that is like the way that all MMOs should be, you'll find the combat in ESO a little bit strange. But no, it's nothing like Skyrim or Oblivion. It is dynamic and 1 second cooldown based. So you have 2 bars. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can just explain quickly. You have 2 bars. You can swap between weapon sets. They could do slightly different things. You can have the same weapon. Like I could have 2 ice staves, front and back. And then, as you can see at the bottom of my screen, 5 abilities plus an ultimate. And you can fire... The abilities, for the most part, don't have any cooldown. So you can spam them all day long. Like, I can just keep casting this. So it is quite unusual. I think that makes it one of the best, probably the best combat system out there for me in terms of MMOs. It's quite like New World. But yeah, it's nothing like Skyrim and Oblivion. We have the opposite problem of people who love Elder Scrolls coming in and... Yeah. Is it a newbie-friendly game? Any site recommended for build guides? Ninja Pulse? Yeah, that's mine. That's ours. That does need an update, though. You can also check out Skinny Cheeks. He's very good. For PvE stuff. Hyperioxys does a lot of tanking and solo play. And for PvP, I've got a list as long as my arm. But yeah, Fergalicious, so delicious. You are welcome. Thanks for the follow, Chuck Dragon. Really appreciate it. And King Greed. Very kind. And Blood of Sin, yeah, main character was the second one I created. First one was a plan, but I didn't like it much in 2014. And also played the Nightblade with friends. Nice. Yeah, it should be in Senshal, yeah. Combat doesn't feel like single-player Elder Scrolls at all. Yeah, and Floinka. Also, I'm also a New World refugee. Well, welcome. Bring us your huddled masses. And so sorry to hear about the game that you were into. Like, quite a few of my friends were really into it. Alright, there don't seem to be any specific requests for dungeons, so why don't we just try... See how far we can get in Earthenroot Enclave in the time remaining. Fastish XP locations? Oh. You don't need to grind in ESO. There are a few places you can go. My preferred way of doing things is just to do content. To run content like these dungeons. The loot isn't... There is a coffer that you can only get once a week in trials, but that doesn't matter. Like, all the loot that you get, you can run a dungeon or a trial 10, 20, 30 times a day if you really want. It's not like you can only get the loot once a week. None of the loot is shared, so you can do all that stuff and then farm for gear, or just do quests, story, explore. The game is extremely generous with gold and XP, so, yeah, if you do need to grind, there are definitely places you can go, but honestly, I would try skipping that part of the usual MMO thing. Right, I'm guessing Dark Metal will join us again in a bit. I'm gonna make sure I've got my trash setup on. Yeah, thanks. Does this game have PvP endgame? Yeah, it really does. They are working on... There's some performance issues in Cyrodiil. This is the endgame PvP zone. It is massive. When I say endgame, it's like... Or inside the Imperial City, that's a bit more condensed. It's like PvPvE in there. That's actually really cool. I love it in there. The problem is, it is also beloved by the players who are really, really good at PvP. So... This is the place you're most likely to get your ass handed to you, chopped into little pieces by just one other player. What's more likely to happen in Cyrodiil, the big one, the big open world, is that you will run into a much bigger group than you are and get stomped that way. Obviously, there are good players everywhere, bad players everywhere, players who are learning. But yeah, it does absolutely have it. It's just going through a bit of flux at the moment. So there's a little bit of uncertainty as to how the PvP is going to look long term. But yeah, it like originally when this game launched, it was one of its biggest selling points, was the three-way open world PvP. It's really cool. I love it. Right, I'm going to stack and turn the bear. Come on. Why won't that guy be... He's CC immune for some reason. Sorry about that. Why would that be? What the fuck? Very strange. Yeah, XP is fairly well balanced. But there are definitely tricks you can use. If you just have... like, I use a thing called Sealed Master Writs, which are like a tiny little crafting quests that you get in an envelope. And you can use add-ons to like stack up 100 of those things, go and craft them all very quickly, and then one by one, open, hand in, open, hand in. So you're spamming like 100 tiny quests very quickly. I'm going to run to the Atro at the back. From here. 3, 2, 1, go. Why am I doing countdowns when you guys are on a delay? Sorry. And for the next pull, I'm going to go from behind the house. Up here on the left. Chuck Dragon used to play DK when I came back after a 7-year hiatus. And started Templar. I'm stuck on him and on Xbox. Templar is pretty good. It's in a good place at the moment as well. We've got a big class overhaul hopefully coming next year. We don't know the details yet. The Crag Witch is one of my favorite NPC titles. Like ad names. King Greed, does the endgame focus on PvP? No. It focuses... Right now there's probably a little bit more lively endgame in PvE, but there's plenty of endgame in both. Like there's so much room for additional mastery. You can always, no matter how fucking amazing you become of this game, there is always more that you can do. I'd like to play PvE because I don't have a lot of time to play. Just want to enjoy and get stronger for farming and game dungeons, raids if there is any. Yeah, loads of... The raids and dungeons in this game are amazing. We're in a 4-player dungeon right now. It's quite a long one, quite a complicated one, but as you can see, it's gorgeous. This is like an overworld zone. This is a dungeon right here. It's one of the things I love about it. Obviously, we can't go quite everywhere, but this is a really ambitious thing. They keep fucking with the concept of the dungeon, quote unquote. They're very good at that. And there are some dungeons which are literally, you know, just a dank, dirty place underground. Should we do hard mode or just skip it? Let's try the hard mode. If it's too hard without comms, either we can go on voice together or just abandon it. Currently downloading on Steam. Well, I hope you enjoy King Greed. I love it, but I'm biased. You know, I've been here a while. I forgot to slot a ranged interrupt. Try to stay together, guys, and don't worry about me. I'm gonna go for the res. Where's the res? Got it. Gotcha. I'll do my best to stay away from you guys when he's doing that, so I don't bring all the earthquakes into the group. Oh, that's done. We probably should have saved our ults for the Atro phase, shouldn't we? Yeah, Moose has 4-person dungeons, 12-person trials, yeah. Don't have to worry about PvP to enjoy. And get... No, exactly. I mean, obviously it helps to do both. Oh, that snare. FYI, I enraged the boss. Note to self, bring ranged interrupt as tank here. This is the thing when you're just pugging stuff randomly rather than bringing your set group here. Let's save our ults, guys, for the final Atro phase, or the final nuke. Okay, so we're gonna have to hide, and then we nuke. Push him now, push him to 30. Perfect. That's literally perfect. Because we baited him into doing the stomp. Now, after the second hide, we just nuke. Go super hard. Ballora, can you interrupt? Nuke, 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 fucking nuke. 7, 5, 2, done. The execute is horrible if it lasts too long. I'm not talking to the group here, I'm just talking to Twitch. But yeah, a lot of incoming damage. And if you just have enough damage to skip it, definitely preferable. Energo or Energo, welcome on in. Thank you very much for the follow. Shustrikas, do you have add-ons installed for this game like it? Wow, yeah. I've got a bunch of add-ons, not too many. But there is a list on our Discord if you want to join. If you want to join the Ninja Balls Discord, there is a list there. It is for PC. There are plenty of people who are on console, though. And consoles were given add-ons as well, just earlier this year. They don't have as many yet. What build do you guys prefer for newbies? I would go with the Arcanist. Herald of the Tome skill line gives you a thing called Fate Carver. So one of you guys can demonstrate Fate Carver. It's a long-lasting channel, which pushes out a beam. Yeah, there it is. And it cleaves every... Look at that, they're all fucking using it. So it's not just for newbies, it is for very experienced players as well. But both our DDs are rocking the Fate Carver beam. It shields you as well. There's a morph called Pragmatic Fate Carver, and that has a shield inside it. So you're doing damage, survivability, cleave, all that stuff in one go. It's mad. And then if you slot a blue champion point here called... not that one. Sorry, Reaving Blows down here. I'm not going to slot that because I'm on a tank. It's pointless. But if you slot this one up here in your slottables, it'll heal you whilst that Fate Carver beam is going brrr and mowing down your targets. Chances are next year they will retune it a little bit. I have no inside knowledge on this. I'm just guessing. But yeah, for now it remains excellent. Very forgiving for new players. Very useful in late game as well.
Doesn't the Archdruid want it to Feral to lead?
Oh shoot, I forgot about the fawn. Well, he died. Doesn't matter. Look at this big boy. Do I need to buy the expansions or just base game? Do I need DLC for subclass? Subclassing, Floimka is base game. As soon as you hit level 50 on one character, you will have access to it. Obviously, you don't get immediate access to everything. Like, if you've never made a sorcerer, whichever character it is, a warden or a nightblade or whatever that you've got, you'll have to level these skill lines first before you can use them. But once they are leveled as a subclass skill line, all of your characters, any ones that you make later, can use them. So the only thing a new character will ever have to level is their own skill line from scratch, or any subclass skill lines that your other account characters have not leveled yet. I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing. Look it up on our YouTube. We've got guides for all of this stuff if you do want to dig a little deeper. And you definitely don't need to buy the expansions. Okay, we got one fawn down, the other one went into tree mode. This is why we focus the fawns. If they live long enough, they will jump into the tree and like possess the tree. Fucking weird. Kind of a cool mechanic though, because it wastes time if you don't kill it quickly. And Moose saying, define need to. Base game is a lot of stuff. But yeah, the difficult content, the really end game stuff for PvE, yes, that's true. Those trials. But also, if you just get ESO Plus, every chapter or every new annual release gets sort of added to ESO Plus, or new copies of the game every year. So for example, this year that's Solstice, the island down here. Western and Eastern Solstice, they all become part of ESO Plus, including the trial, including the siege camps, everything. Sort of May next year, probably. Focus the fawn here, please. Did someone bash him? Never bash the fawn. Nice. Let's ult on this one. Let's all of us just ult dump on the 3. Beautiful, look at that nuke. Fuck yeah. One more guy. Alright, sorry folks. I need to catch up with chat here. And Moose, I'm always surprised on this spot by how slowly people get to the second stone to hide behind. Yeah, I know. I run towards the middle as soon as the first one is done. I mean, I'm slow because tank. And the other guys in my group are looking slower than they are because latency. Yeah, ESO Plus description gives most DLCs exactly. Templar is also pretty good for beginners, especially Mag. Yeah, you heal yourself just by doing your thing. That's a good point. And Ziplex, thank you very much for the follow. King Greed was saying, as a new player, do you guys recommend to buy the expansion? Where can I find the builds on Discord? So many questions. I'll tell you what, when I am free a little bit later, I'm going to be available to talk on Discord, but I don't think there are any builds posted on the Discord as such. But yeah, there are screenshots popping around all over the place. I have a bunch of videos on my YouTube which cover all of this stuff, so sorry I can't supply all the info up front right here. King Cracker! Hey, I'm new to this game. Want a guide for a solo build where I can feel a little OP, yet easy to understand. I'll tell you what, King Greed and King Cracker, you should probably watch. If you just go to the YouTube, watch the latest video that I uploaded, which isn't a Twitch VOD. There we go. That's our YouTube. You can look at that when you like. It's the title of it is Tired of Being Squishy, and it will just go over a few things which are sort of for solo, but it will also help for new players. Then there is a point at which I show my setup in the video, and that is an Arcanist, which we already talked about. An Arcanist with Nightblade, Assassination, and Sorcerer's Stormcalling. It's like almost unbeatable for solo stuff. And it's very easy to understand as well, King Cracker. Yeah, some flashy spells, blaze through the game. That's exactly what you want. And if you're struggling to get the specifics, hit me up and I will post a... Ah, god damn it. I'm just trying to think if I got a screenshot anywhere to hand. Sorry, folks. I'm just to get this question answered, I'm just going to relog from the dungeon and just show the setup real quick. Celerity. Yeah, most you don't need the 2025 content pass unless you want specific access to the newest zone and its quest or the newest trial. But yeah, there's loads of stuff to do elsewhere. So this is my Arcanist. I'm just going to quickly log on there. And anyone who is asking for a setup, don't worry about the gear so much. Just the skills, and I'll explain. Well, I'll just bring it up on screen. And you guys can take a screenshot, which hopefully will be readable once you start playing and once you start collecting things. But unfortunately, you're asking like on the rare occasion I'm not already on that character. So here we are. Here it is. Forget about Unsul. You don't need this mythic either initially. Get it when you can, if you have mythics unlocked. But if you're new, honestly, just join a Discord like the Ninja Pawz one and ask for 2 crafted sets. Tideborn jewelry and a set called Order's Wrath on the body. It's very, very standard. And then you can run these abilities. That's the front and back bar. All of them are easy to unlock. They're bog standard. You don't need scribing. You don't need anything fancy. The 3 skill lines are Herald of the Tome from the Arcanist, Assassination from the Nightblade, and Stormcalling from the Sorcerer. These 3. Herald, Assassination, Stormcalling. Get all the passives, obviously. I recommend medium armor and a stamina character, but it doesn't have to be. And then don't worry too much about the CP, but ideally, yeah, these are probably the ones you want once you get going. Food, which gives you max health, and again, that latest video I posted goes through all of this. But man, this shit is pretty surprising how much it combines damage with survivability. It's pretty wild how much of both you get seemingly for free. Because normally that's the point, isn't it? You need, in order to have survivability, you need to reduce your damage. There's got to be a trade-off there. Because of the tools we've been given access to, and partly because of subclassing, we're able to get a lot more survivability than we used to, without really compromising on damage at all. Sorry, Dungeon Team, I'm on my way back. Stam or Magica? Yeah, it was Stam. This one's Stam, exactly. Thank you, Belorda. And Dark Metal. All classes usable in older content, but you need to unlock some by buying expansions or the class in the Crown Store. Yeah, that's true. Class overhaul, do you have any more info? No. BW, this is just because A, subclassing is not finished, clearly. B, they haven't done much about that in update 47 and 48. Why would they be ignoring the issue, which they're very, very much aware of at ZOS, unless they had plans to do more with it? And finally, they told us they've got big things coming next year. I'm choosing to interpret that as more of an overhaul to account for the... I'll just bring both big ads out into the middle. Schnax, if you want to run that way and just aggro the other guy, just like light attack him and then bring him up. I'll turn them towards the exit. It takes a long time for them to stack. Oh shit, I ultied just as they died. Vezok, Elden Roots, yeah. That's right. Pro tip, if you're wearing Drake's Rush, it works on these. So you can actually build quite a lot of ult during that unskippable little cutscene bit. Class and race as base, so that one was an Arcanist Dunmer, but it could also be a Sorcerer or a Nightblade. I would recommend Nightblade, personally, because I love it, and it's amazing. Right, gonna need to concentrate for a little bit. Lily Dryad, welcome back. I'm kind of amazed that this game has such good and active community. Yeah, the community is fucking awesome. It might be one of the best things about the game, to be honest. There's plenty else which is good, but yeah. Also, greetings, nerds. It's not Elden Root. This is Earthen Root Enclave, I guess is what you meant, right? I haven't done it in a while either. Okay, so we focus the... Cleave the fawns, please. And, yeah, we skip after the second Heidi phase. We just burn, obviously. Oh, we got pretty good spawnage here. I'm going to move away from you folks, so I don't endanger you. My god, they're just melting. The Arcanist makes this so much easier. Oh. Oh, we're just gonna have to retry that one. Sorry, I got a triple hit while I wasn't blocking. I was a little bit confused by the boss's behavior. It's going a little bit too fast for me. You guys are too good. Easy living. I guess that for that particular build, the one thing you'll always want is going to be Herald of the Tome, so I would go with Arcanist, if you have it. But that is the latest... I mean, I suppose you have to have it if you're using the skill line, yeah. Locha has a mean dot. Does it? Maybe you just need to get good. Like I do. How's it going, Vezok? Alright, let's do another countdown. Alright. Got 1, 2, 3. I will ult when she starts spawning. Yeah, now. There we go. Okay, now we can nuke. Done. Yeah, we made that look harder than it is the first time. The damage has got so high. There are mechanics to do there, but we basically don't even need to observe them anymore if we just bring enough dupes. Go there with 3 DDs, it hurts. No, it definitely does. I think I've done it with 1 DD. Probably not the hard mode, though. To be fair, that's the difference. I don't think we're going to have time to finish the dungeon. Sorry, guys. I got to go pretty soon. Let's try and sprint through and do a non-hard mode. Oh, there's one more out the stack. There we go. The next stack I will make on the right-hand side here. And the next one up ahead I'll make on the left-hand side, so up the slope. Didn't realize that one was still alive. Nice. Oh no, King Cracker. Yeah, I did. I was showing the build. But no worries. It's fairly standard stuff. Honestly, anyone in here can whisper you or send you a screenshot. Or if you hit me up on Discord, just do it that way. But yeah, I desperately need to update the website, get all this stuff on there, so it's just at our fingertips. Like Splitcatch, nice, gotta do our part for the wall. Best thing to do is take it zone by zone with whichever class tickles your fancy. Yeah, you honestly don't need any sort of easy or solo build in the early game. The game is extremely forgiving in Overworld, so much so that they are upping the difficulty next year. It's going to be optional. And we don't know the details, but yeah, they're adding a harder overworld difficulty because it was always very accessible, right? But it's very little pressure on your survivability, your damage, whatever. And it's only become more and more trivial as power creep has got crazy in this game. I do love my stacks. Look at that. Oh, that one was beautiful. Sorry, I just totally tented. All right, we have to kill this. We have to kill this guy super duper fast. Arcanist Bill, you prefers your Magicka Arcanist? No, it is a subclass Stamina Arcanist, Let's just do plain vet. Guys, it's going to be very easy. Sorry. We could definitely crush the hard mode, but I'd rather just clear it.
You fail, and all that's left to do is die.
Somebody ninja pulled.
Very dirt. Bury you in stone. Your neck with my sword.
He transforms into a bear. Oh, on hard mode, he is a very scary breath attack. Well, it's not actually that scary if you know what you're doing, but lots of people are scared of it. And I totally understand that. Oh yeah, I keep spamming shield. I forget we've got a healer. We've got an actual healer here, a really good one. Have an ult just to finish him. There we go. I'm guessing nobody needs the monster set. You've already got it all covered. Stamina Arcanist. Okay, thank you. Yeah, man. Feels like no hard mode. The name of the guild. Yeah, exactly. Ninja pulls. Equip a certain skill blocking. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. But even then, you don't. You just like learn to tank, and it's just not an issue. Especially now with subclassing. But yeah, a lot of people would use crazy stuff to like get through it, and I think it just developed this reputation as something that was not tankable by ordinary means, and yeah, I was just quite surprised and amused by that because it's genuinely not that hard. But yeah, thank you guys, thank you Belorda, thank you Schlax, thank you Dark Metal, awesome to hang out as always. What did I get? Did I get a cool style page? I didn't get a motif page. Otherwise I would share it with you guys. King Cracker, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. And sorry, this conversation would be a lot easier if I had time to update my website. But as I was bitching about at the start of the stream, I am buried in work right now. That's why the stream has to be cut short. I have to go in a couple of minutes. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys. That was a really fun one. We had lots of cool conversations. If any of you would like to support what we do, please do come back again tomorrow. Watch, follow, comment, like, you know, all the usual stuff. And if any of you have got it like that, please feel free to subscribe as well. We absolutely need to keep this train rolling up the steep old hill that will bring us eventually to have Maya on here full stream as well. Full stream, full time. That is the goal, to make this a 2-person stream by default. Usually it's just me, and then every 4, 5, 6 streams we have Maya here as well. But that's when it really kicks off. I think that's when we really have something special. Thanks for the help. Hopefully I can tune in tomorrow. Yeah, that'd be great. Letting get to the last XP for hitting 3,600. Belorda, yeah, good luck with that. I'm gonna miss it. I was hoping you'd get it while I was online. And thanks, guys, for the runs. Yeah, thanks. See you tomorrow. Yeah, man. Well, we're not raiding off immediately. Let's figure out who we're going to raid to first. But yeah, King Cracker. Let me relog, actually, one more time. Just in case you did miss it. And there's me barely at 350 CP. I mean, 350 is plenty, isn't it? Once you get over like 1,200, it's pretty much rear view mirror stuff anyway, isn't it? Been very weird recently with Twitch trying to show me recommendations to I should raid. Most of them I just don't know who they are. And then I'll miss someone that I do know very well and that I would like to raid to, and Twitch just isn't even showing it. It's quite strange. I need to figure out how to make that a little bit more intuitive. Alright guys, Oh, Vezok, you already have the same idea. I was going to go with either Herway or Bislobo, but we raided Bislobo last. Let's go say hello to Herway. Herway's a lovely, lovely guy. Before I get into that, let's quickly show King Krakow what the hell I was talking about. So this was the setup. You don't need to do this exactly. Do not worry about the gear. I would go with Tideborn on the weapons. You can go Tideborn on the back bar as well. And you can ask for this, by the way, in my Discord, in the Ninja Balls Discord. Whichever server you're on, there will be somebody, maybe might take a day or whatever, but on the weekend it should be pretty good. Tideborn and Order's Wrath, and they will sort you out. They'll get you a nice crafted setup. You can add this Mythic Ring later. You can add this Inferno back bar later. Don't worry too much about it. Just daggers front, Inferno back, and then these skills, and just keep them up. You don't even need this one, the Rune of Displacement, really. And it is Herald of the Tome from the Arcanist, Assassination from the Nightblade, Storm Calling from the Sorcerer. So if you needed to screenshot that, do it there real quick. But yeah, back to the raid, guys. We're going to raid off to Herway. Do me 3 favors, as always. 1, stay with him, stay with me, stay with the channel. We're going to raid off to Herway. He's a lovely guy, he's a friend of the guild. 2, make a lot of noise when we arrive. He's French, so he's used to it. Let's go. Make a ton of noise, please, in Herway's chat when we arrive. And 3, give the guy a follow. If after a few minutes you're like, oh, this dude's cool, I like him. So, yeah, remember those 3 things? It's lovely, lovely, lovely to raid off with an awesome bunch of people and then make a big splash in someone else's channel. Always a lot of fun to do. So thank you very much for that. Thank you in advance. We are going to raid off in just a moment. And like I said, your support is extremely appreciated by me and by Maya. Please come back tomorrow and we will, yeah, we'll see you again. In the meantime, have a wonderful, wonderful Friday and a good, good weekend. See you later, guys.